NXT, to Underground, always fantasy wrestling, and we have some of the best interviews for professional and independent wrestling that you've ever heard. And I'm Joe Lane. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, keep your arms in the vehicle at all times. Wrestle begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, what the heck is going on? It is 8 o'clock. It is Wednesday night. That means one thing and one thing only. Ladies and gentlemen, you are. Having gonna have intern Timmy. Let me finish what I'm saying before you put me on mute, sir. Please. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, watching both via YouTube and Facebook Live, pardon the interruption. I am the Night Owl. We are live right now on the Wrestle Talk Podcast, episode 257. We're going to get back on track and keep this train rolling, y'all.
Radio. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen.
Live radio, y'all. What can I say?
For the Wrestle Talk Podcast with Joe and Renee, we have such a great show for you tonight. And, you know, when this thing messes up, there's only one thing that comes to mind, and that's this. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Good old JR. Anyway, this week we got a great show for you tonight. We got the Hot Spot segment, the Shooting Shots segment, the Wrestle Podcast Game Show Challenge, the Fantasy Wrestling segment, the Snippets of Truth. We got Kitt Reaver coming on. It's going to be a great show, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the man that needs no introduction, the Night Owl.
¿Qué pasa? What up, Jonesy? ¿Qué pasa? Loyal members of the Wrestle Talk family, I am your boy, the Night Owl, broadcasting live from the heartland of the good old US of A. That's right, Kansas City. And as you might have heard, my partner in crime over there in the West Virginia, Maryland area, representing the Mountaineer State, the one, the only Nightmare Jones, man. We are glad that you guys decided to join us tonight. We got a lot of exciting new information for you guys. And there's some stuff that's happened in wrestling that we want to discuss with you as well. And the awesome part is, for those of you guys who jump in early, you can almost immediately get on during the High Spot segment where we talk all things revolving around the world of professional wrestling. It's real easy. If one of my friends on the live broadcast can type this in, the number is 657-383-1521. You can call in and talk to us about anything in the world of pro wrestling. If you love Kitt Reaver, call in. If you hate him, call in. If you never heard of him, call in. If you love fantasy or professional wrestling on any level, call in. The number is 657-383-1521. And if you call in every week, we still want to hear from you. And if you're brand new to the show, we want you to call in again. That's 657-383-1521. Jonesy, I cannot even finish telling you how excited, man. This upcoming Saturday, your boy is going in for his first official tenure over at XWE. The last one was okay, but it was the first one, and you know there's a lot of kinks to be worked out. But this go around, bro, I'm happy to announce, and this news just broke a little bit earlier today. The whole show, from 6 o'clock till it ends, will be streaming live on Twitch. So look up XWE_Salina, okay? And you can watch the whole show for free on Twitch. And the voice that you will hear calling the action is myself alongside the prodigy, Aaron Helms. So it's going to be crazy, man. And I don't want to bore you guys with just talking about one promotion because there's so many different things we could talk about. But that's something that I'm super duper excited about, Jonesy, bro. How has your week been and what are you excited about?
My week has been absolutely amazing. I've had the past 2 days off. Today is payday, so always great, always happy about payday. Anytime that it's payday, it's a good day. And you know what? I'm sitting here looking at my Wrestle Podcast beer mug that you can get on the WrestleTalkPodcast.com. And you know what the cool thing about these beer mugs is? These beer mugs fit the exact amount of a bottle of beer. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I've done a lot of research and development, so yes, I can confirm that.
It's pretty awesome. It's like it holds one bottle of beer. So if you haven't got yourself a Wrestle Talk Podcast mug, what are you waiting for? Go to the WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Go to the merch section. Get yourself a mug. They're not that expensive, and they last forever. You can buy two of them. Buy one to put up on the shelf, and then you get the other one to make you feel close or whatever that you want to use it for. So don't just buy one, buy two.
Hey, no, I absolutely agree, bro. And it is official. The percentage is 17%. The research has shown that your beer or root beer float will actually taste 17% better if you drink it or eat it or whatever it is that you're going to put in here out of a Wrestle Talk podcast mug. So you can't pass up on that opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. But with all that said, Jonesy, I do believe that it is time to get into the high spot segment. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do what we always do about this time. And we're going to ask everybody to please respectfully remove their hats, put their hands over their hearts as we pay homage to the greatest country on God's green earth. And that's America, damn it.
Oh, say, can you see the rockets? Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now. Oh, the land of the free.
Love that guy.
Brings a tear to my eye every single time, ladies and gentlemen. Every single time it brings a tear to my eye. But ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get in to this high spot segment because we got all kinds of stuff that we want to talk about. So, ladies, the income Timmy, if you can please play that music for me real quick.
Earth rings. We
We're now taking over your radio.
Hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high. Hit 'em low, hit 'em low, like a noise. The rain got no game. I'm breaking your out the rain coming through rock and rain. Nothing to take my stop for the food. Taking no control. You can't get none of this. We're running this. Well, take up. Let's shake a 3-point gun in it. Get out the rain. I'm coming to an exit. Don't wanna move up from it. Right, blue.
All right, oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, what the heck could we talk about tonight on the hot spot segment? And, well, actually, you know what? I have a little bit of breaking news. So, intern Timmy, if you could please hit that breaking news for us all because everybody's going to want to hear this. This is absolutely amazing. All right, so, you know, All Elite Wrestling has fired all kinds of shots at the WWE. It seems like with each and every single pay-per-view, they do something to fire a shot at the WWE. Well, AEW has done it again, Renee. They've done it again tonight. They fired another shot at the WWE, announcing that today and stars are going to be competing around the clock and then some for its brand new 25-8 championship. That's right, the holder of the new belt must be prepared to defend his title 25 hours a day from Monday.
What the hell? Who comes up with this shit, bro? You gotta be kidding me right now.
Hey, if it's on the internet, then it's true. So AEW has a 25-8 title, 25 hours a day, Monday to Sun yesterday.
And let me guess. This news is courtesy of our friends over at kfabenews.com, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is kayfabe news. It has just about everything you can think of. I mean, they have the story of the Raw reunion that was supposed to feature the long overdue 10-bell salute to Katie Vick.
Oh my gosh, dude. Damn, I didn't even remember that we went over that one, dude. That's good shit right there. Well, hey, listen, man. You know what gets me excited, dude? That we can have a laugh and talk pro wrestling, because that's what we enjoy doing here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, man. But at the same time, it's serious business. And I know that here in about 45 minutes, we're going to be bringing on Kitt Reaver, man. And I always have a lot of fun talking to legends, like the ones that we've had the opportunity to talk to, like Ted DiBiase and Savio Vega and Paul Orndorff and Tully Blanchard and Bill Dundee and so on and so forth. But man, when I get to see guys ring in, ring out, week in, week out, show up and perform without a doubt, that's where it gets crazy for me, bro. Because once I see them do it, and then they step in the ring and keep doing it, and then we develop like a mutual respect, right? Because I'm usually calling their matches, or I'm out there as a fan supporting, and then we get them to actually come in, and we can get to know them a little bit more personally. As you know, we've developed some pretty awesome relationships with a lot of awesome guys out in the pro wrestling world, and there are a few that are as on fire and as passionate about it as our guest today, man, Kitt Reaver. And I've seen him in a lot of his more notable matches as of late. And it's almost like every time he does something, he takes it to another level, the next show, and then the next show, and then the next show. Regardless of what the crowd is giving him, he's always out there performing, and if you follow him, you can see him. He's got plenty of matches where he probably gave a little bit too much of himself. So I can't wait to get kind of into his head a little bit and try to figure out exactly why it is that he does what he does and how he does it week in, week out, because he's not having a badass match like once a month, Jonesy. Like, this dude is wrestling 3-4 times a week, and every time that he does, he's killing it. And anybody in this area, anybody associated with the KWA, anybody that knows anything about wrestling in the Midwest and the state of Kansas, they'll tell you, yeah, he's young, but the dude can ball. And the fact that we get a chance to talk to him, bro, I'm supremely excited, bro. Supremely excited.
That's awesome. Absolutely. I am excited as Bill, as you know, tonight we have a very special guest for the Hot Spot segment. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on a gentleman that has been on the show before as a guest. He's a very good friend of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on the social. What's going on, sir? How are you tonight?
How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing absolutely wonderful. And I understand that you wanted to come on tonight to talk about a very special event that's coming up.
Well, I actually have lots of very special events coming up, but the one coming up this Saturday in Cuba, Missouri is especially special because a wrestler that wrestled around in these parts for about 30 years, who started his start down in Texas, who was trained by Kerry Von Erich. His first match was Terry Funk. The man has been everywhere, done everything. He was the Hollywood stud, Alan Ward. Back in June, we lost him of cancer. He was hoping he'd make it through that, he really wanted to get back, and he was hoping for the future, and but that didn't happen. Sometimes you up before you're calling. But so this show this weekend is a benefit for Alan and his family, and I would appreciate if every single person that can afford to get down there and see a great show, American Championship Wrestling. My organization's coming in there, and we're going to put on a show to stop all shows. Because I open this up to every person around that worked with Alan or knew Alan or even didn't. And it's going to be something. We got some really, really great matches on the card. We got some fantastic wrestlers. We got Brian James. We got legend Gary Jackson, Marcus Mansfield. We've got Curtis Payne, Playboy, Double H. We got them all. I mean, the hits that just keep on coming. I mean, we're going to have a 20-man battle royal. It's going to be for the Alan Ward Hollywood Stud Cup. And they're really going to work for that one. I guarantee you.
I bet.
They're going to, Vicious and Delicious, Marcus Mansfield and Curtis Payne is going to defend their tag team championships against Brian James and Gary Jackson. That match is going to be something else right there. And then the ACW champion, Steve Harrison, he's going to defend his title at this time against the Bruja Shaman. And if we can get the deal sealed out, Sean Vincent. That's going to be a three-way dance. That's going to be a house fire right there. I'm excited about this show. All tickets, $5 at the door before. It doesn't matter. $5, man. We're really going to do it for the family down there. Anyhow, man, I'm excited. I'm really glad to be back on this show. I love you guys' show. You guys are awesome. I love what you do for wrestling in this area. It's going to be good. I can't wait for you guys to make out a couple of my shows too.
Absolutely. So I mean, $5 a ticket, that is more than affordable for a family to take out, to go see some professional wrestling. Sometimes you have these events that charge, $15, $20 for tickets, and if you want to bring the whole family, it costs you quite a bit of money. So $5 is definitely a affordable price, and for the amount of talent you have there. Now, hopefully that the gentleman by the name of Attila Khan is not going to be there, because he's a scary gentleman.
Woo! Yes, he is.
Hopefully you guys have some extra security there for the fans, because that's a scary gentleman.
Well, I will tell you this. Attila was going to be there. And I did have extra security. That's actually on my flyers and on our site, because he is crazy. But he went out and got himself suspended. The man, they're not going to allow him into a wrestling building this weekend no matter what. I did everything I could. I talked to the state, everything I could. But he's out of control. I mean, talk about a guy that went from a hero to a monster. It's just unbelievable. But I try to control him, and he will be on my next couple of shows, because we got one on September 14th. He's going to be there, and I think you guys heard about my show coming up on October 12th with Kane from the WWE and Dr. Tom Pritchard. So that's good. He'll be there too. I tell you what, $5. Here's the deal too. People keep asking me, how can you do the $5 thing? Well, I don't pay my rent this. I don't pay my car payment this. I do this because I love it. I made my money in wrestling, and I make good money still today. So I don't tell people, I joke, I say, man, I am the Dollar General of wrestling. I want families to come. Mark can come all day long, man. I love him. I love Smart. I love everybody. But what I really want is I want to get that space of family. And $5, they can do that. They can come in there and watch a great show. And, hey, that's all I'm trying to do. Like I said, we're trying to be the Dollar General wrestling, and the quality ain't no lower just because it's cheaper. It's just we want those big crowds. That's what we want,
Well, I'll tell. I did want to jump in. No, thank you very much. Well, Searcher, man, obviously, man, we're excited to have you back on, and I know that we're in the process of trying to work out a date where you can come on and do the full interview deal. But I know how important it is for you guys to continue to give back to the pro wrestling community. And there was just kind of one question that I had. So you've got Thick Deke Hansen, who's a Kansas City guy, working for you, and he's continued to kind of stay at the top of the card. Seeing as he's still fairly young, man, what is it that you saw in Deke that made you feel like, yeah, this is a guy that needs to be competing for the top championship in my promotion, whether he's won it or lost it or whatever, he's getting that opportunity. And I'm wondering what it was that you saw in him that made you think like he was the guy.
Well, I'll tell you what I saw in him. He keeps winning. That's what I saw. How that happened was, unfortunately, another kind of bad situation in wrestling today. My champ, Chico Wrestlecore, and it was something that the pain would not go away, so he had to drop the title. So the night in Worston, what else does the promoter do? I had to put the title. We need a chance, so I took another, chance, and I put everyone in the ring at one time, and he came out on top, and he keeps coming out on top over. I don't know who's going to beat him. I mean, some guys get the big belt, and they just seem to crumble. They just don't last. But then some guys get the big belt, and they become legends. And you may be seeing that right now, this young man. You may be seeing it.
Well, that's awesome, man. And I'll tell everybody right here, right now, it's facebook.com/ACW the show, or ACW the show @gmail.com for any information. Maybe you can get on their mailing list. But for $5 and looking at the talent pool that you guys are bringing through, man, there's no doubt in my mind that you guys are going to kill it on the 3rd. And I also wanted to say, man, that I know that you were mourning just like we were about the loss of Keon Option last week. I know you're fairly tied in to the pro wrestling community, in St. Louis, the way that we are. So just any quick thoughts on maybe not specifically Keon, but like just, when we lose guys early, man, how tough is that? And do you see it as something that we can learn and grow from, because it always seems like when one guy goes down, he gets his love, he gets his respect, but it kind of opens up the door for somebody else. So can you speak on that briefly, Searcher?
There's another reason why I like talking to you guys, because you guys are so professional. That is probably one of the most perfect questions that I could get right now. Because not only we lost, who you're talking about, young man, but we have lost so many just this year. We've lost a guy that worked for WPW, Adrian Masters, a guy that used to work for RCW, Hackshaw. We just lost him last week. We lost Osiris. We lost and Hollywood Stud, and we lost Big Bad Ben, GCW, which was, I talked to him the day before he passed, and this is the reason why the Hall of Fame, the Midwest Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame, is so important. Because I tell everybody, yes, we put you in the Hall of Fame, we make a big deal about it, we give you rings. But the real reason we do that is just one night, because life is so busy. Let's all get together and appreciate, no matter what state we worked in, if we work together or not, let's get together and appreciate one another, because we never know when's our last sunrise and sunset. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to, I've lost so many friends in this business. This is a very rough business, but you know what? People move on one way or the other, and young people come and take that talent. Wrestling was always, that's another thing I'd like to say real quick if I can. I don't know if you know this, but I told people this 4 years ago when I got back into the wrestling scene around here. I saw a lot of things that wasn't good, and one of it was there was no real good trainers. There was really no good place for people to go to be trained without paying an arm and a leg. And there was a lack of if you're going to look for a job in another federation and don't know you, they say, well, who trained you? And I'm not knocking anybody who trains, but if someone says someone's name and no one's ever heard of them, that kind of knocks you down a peg or two.
A little bit.
That's why I've been bringing in it started with Bob Orton, brought in Bob Orton, the first guy to ever bring Bob Orton in to do a seminar, then Dan Severn, and now Dr. Tom. You couldn't get any better. And I'm doing this like you said a while ago. I'm doing this. We can all do it, man. For the fans first. I know, man. I know it. But we can do this. And you could not get better than Dr. Tom. But here's the deal. I'll talk about that down the road. But I'm serious, man. Come, celebrate with us. Alan's, passing, or not celebrating that, but celebrate Alan's life. And help us raise some money for that family and all that stuff. And if you can, just go to ACW and put a message, Facebook, and put a message on it to the family about, the thinking of our hearts and the prayers, or just thinking about them. But it's a tough time right now. But we're going to get through this, and we're going to keep on doing what we've always done, guys. You guys put on the most rocking, the most best wrestling show that you can. You cover everything, and everybody can't wait for the next show, one right after another. And all of us promoters around here, we're all going to try to put on the best show we can for the fans. And, it's funny. Right now, I'm sitting across from my daughter, Miss Hyde, who just graduated from Glenn Jacobs and Dr. Tom Pritchard's school down there in Knoxville, Tennessee. She will also be on the card, and we're working on bringing in Jordan Grace to wrestle her and Tessa Blanchard. And we're going to be doing this, and the future is bright, boys. I'm telling you, wrestling's hot again. I'm excited. You guys are excited. We're all going to be excited. Let's get to these wrestling shows and have a great time.
Hell freaking yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, The Searcher, once again back on the show after a while, man. I'm so happy, bro. Make some noise. Make some noise, people. Yeah, baby. Woo! Make some noise. All right, Searcher, we'll catch you down the road, man. Be safe, all right?
All right, brothers. See you later.
Grace and peace. Wow. See, here's what's crazy, Joe. Like, Searcher wasn't even really scheduled to be like a featured guest, but to him, that didn't matter. He was like, I'm going to be talking to the pro wrestling community, so I got to do what I got to do and get that energy across, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or a full-length interview. And that's why we don't mind like saying, hey, yeah, come on, man, let's go. Let's get the message delivered. And we've seen that. We've seen DJ from Journey Pro join us right before a show. We've seen the good folks over at KCX join us right before a show. We've seen the good folks over at MEW join us right before the show. The XWE folks. I mean, that's what it's all about. People are leaving their arrogance at the door and saying, hey, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me to spread the word about what I'm doing. And then in turn, he's giving back to the family of a wrestler who we lost. And that's beautiful, man. And now that I think about it, Jonesy, like that package that Dynamo Pro did for Keon Option, man, I mean, they didn't have to do that for him, bro. He was a higher talent. He came, he went. Sometimes he was booked, sometimes he wasn't. But he became part of their family. He became part of the community. And when you're part of the fabric, man, you matter. And that's why Wrestle Talks exists, because of guys like Searcher and Guy Crystal who wanted to make sure to give those props. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, man. I don't really know how to put it into words. I just love the love, man. That's all I can say. I love the love.
Absolutely. 100%. I love the love as well. Let's go ahead and continue on with this high spot. Great, talking to the Searcher. Well,
Jonesy, you know what? You know what we didn't do, though? We didn't hit the music. So let's hit the music for about 30 to 45 seconds. We'll have intern Timmy, do me a favor. Go ahead and shoot some messages out so that people know that we're going to once again merge the high spot segment with the FWWC segment. So, guys, if you've been on hold, which I know there's quite a few of you, and you want to come in and either talk FWWC or high spots, which is pretty much anything, is on the table. All you got to do is dial that number, 657-383-1521, to get on the line right here with the hottest podcast in the Midwest, baby, the Wrestle Talk Podcast, episode 256, featuring Kitt Reaver, who will be here shortly. So dial that number, join tonight's edition of the High Spot segment.
We have now taken over your radio.
So let me go ahead and start off this all of my Facebook, my Facebook. I have a lot of wrestling fans and friends, and this is something that has been going around recently. And this is from a guy named But I was 6. I wanted to be a professional wrestler. I idolized men I saw on TV. Flipping the channel from Raw to Nitro each Monday night, I saw men like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Goldberg. Still, there were too many men I could name. So then he trained hard his entire life. Warrior got scouted by Jay Briscoe, jumping into the wrestling world myself in 2014. He's done all the right things. He's still doing it. Said all the right things. Got the right elbows. Just wanted a shot at a contract to get his foot in the door and have a platform to perform. But in reality, this is what a major promotion decides to sign. A 5'2", 115-pound guy by the name of Mark. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't care. This is silly as shit. And a slap in the face to real athletes. Now, what this gentleman is saying is that because Marco is 5'2" and 115 pounds, that it's a slap to his face that he gets signed to AEW, and this guy Gunnar Miller does not get signed. Now, to me, that seems like somebody is a little bit jealous. I don't know if that's what it sounds like to you, Renee, but it sounds like maybe the gentleman is a little bit jealous because, maybe this guy, Marco, has something that the other guy doesn't have. I don't know. But, to basically say that he doesn't deserve his opportunity because of how short he is bullcrap. Because I get told all the time about how short that I am, and Spencer, I get tired of it. I get tired of it. How short that I am. I'm perfectly challenged, damn it.
Well, here's what's funny. I think this story personally has a connection with you because you struggle with the, like you said, you're vertically challenged. So let's start there, and I understand why you're so passionate about it. At the same time, let me thank everybody who I can see now is presently watching either on YouTube or Facebook Live. Shout out to Allison Shea, my sis from FWWC. Love you so much. Shout out to Bones. Shout out to Sonny. Shout out to Jay Hollywood. Shout out to Joseph out in New York that's peeping us out. And shout out to a couple of people in Florida, and Kansas and Missouri is popping in all night tonight too. So I absolutely love the fact that you guys are here and checking us out. Hopefully you guys are digging it. But dude, here's the thing. Like, all right, I'll ask you a question to answer the question. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? That's how I'm going to get to my point. I think you'll appreciate this.
Butter pecan.
Okay, so butter pecan is your favorite flavor of ice cream, and you love this ice cream flavor more than any other flavor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. And it's okay to love butter pecan ice cream. You could shout it from the freaking rooftops. I love butter pecan ice cream. And that's okay. Here's where it becomes a problem, ladies and gentlemen, where you not only want to shout from the ceiling tops that you love butter pecan ice cream, but it's when somebody else is on another rooftop saying, hey, I love Rocky Road. And then you from the other rooftop are yelling, shut up. Shut up, damn it. Shut up. I mean, it's like, dude, you want to talk about how much you love what you love, that's fine. Just make sure you leave enough room for other people to talk about what they love, okay? If you are a fan of Marco Stunt, you could not be happier that he signed with AEW. If you are not a fan of Marco, AEW, clearly you're not the flavor that AEW likes. And because you're not, you're mad that their favorite flavor is another flavor. And yes, you can have more than one favorite flavor. That's why wrestling is so incredible. So like my man Jonesy said it from the top, this is nothing but jealousy, ladies and gentlemen. He got an opportunity that you didn't. So instead of spending your time showing everyone what a prick you are, why not take all that energy and all your credentials and type up maybe a little bit of a better resume so that you can actually get booked somewhere and start bitching and complaining about the fact that Marco Stunt got an opportunity that he earned I know people who were at his first match. I know people that have seen most of his matches. You know why? Because Marco Stunt gained fame. So we have had interaction with Jeff Odell. We talked to Hollis Giroux. We've talked to Brandon Barbwire. We have a bunch of great friends, family from Cape Girardeau. We talked to Lee. I mean, come on. So what's the problem here? Oh, and Marco Stunt can do stuff that you can't do. And Marco Stunt sells more merch in a day than you sell in a month. Is that why you mad, bro? Is it mad because the 5'2", 115-pound kid's got more hair on his chest than you do? Are you mad, bro? Jeez Louise, I wish I could interview this guy. I got some questions, bro. I got some questions, but I want to know what the Wrestle Talk family feels about it, man. 657-383-1521. This is a place to let it off your chest. Jonesy, that's how I feel about that. Are we moving on or are we bringing on a caller? Because I know there's people chomping at the bit right now.
All gonna move on. We can definitely move on. You know, there's so much stuff that we can talk about. You know, we can talk about how on Friday, Nightmare Jones is going to try to get tickets to the AEW show on October 2nd in Washington, D.C. You know, I'm going to be working, but I've told my wife, I said, I'm going to give you my phone. I've got the Ticketmaster app already on my phone. All you have to do is click on AEW before noon and just be there. And hopefully we can get tickets so I can go see my favorite wrestler, Joey Janela, wrestle at AEW. Because, yes, I know you don't like Joey Janela, but I am a Joey Janela fan. I've seen him wrestle multiple times.
Call me a hypocrite. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have a defense. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm gonna defend myself here, okay? Because I talked myself into a corner. Here's why I don't like Joey Janela. Because he doesn't look like he tries hard, bro. Everybody else in that triple threat tag match, whatever the hell, the 3-versus-3, looked at him, except him and Havoc, looked like professionals. And these two guys looked like hardcore guys. And that's fine. But give them their own match. I feel like I'm making the same point from last week. Jeez Louise. Somebody needs to do a better job of identifying what they have and using that piece where it belongs. Every puzzle piece is important, but not every puzzle piece goes together. And the fact that this man almost kills himself at every show, scaring away, something that I can condone. I'm sorry, bro. He's having street fights with other bums like Enzo Amore. What the hell kind of backwood bullshit is this? Professional wrestler, bro. Where is the professional part of Joey Janela? That's all I'm saying. If every promo you cut is a shoot, it ain't a promo. If every promo you cut, it ain't a promo. You're just talking shit. Let's just call it what it is. That's why I like Joey Janela. But anyway, AEW, we are looking for sponsors. So hit us up at WrestleTalkPodcast@gmail.com. We know how much we love y'all for real. So, we here. Holla at your boys. All right, what else you got, Jonesy?
There's one other thing that I have, and then we can get into a caller. Being a referee, I am in a referee group, a Facebook group, and there was a story that has been going around from, I'm not sure what promotion that it was, but there was a group of Mexican wrestlers called Los Pocas. Do you know who that group is, Renee?
Los what?
I think that they wrestled for Los Pocas. I think that they wrestled for MLW and a bunch of other promotions.
How do you spell that?
I think it's LAS Pocas. I don't know.
Oh, wait. Is it a group Or like one guy?
Yeah, it's a group.
Okay, but it sounds like you said La Parka, but you're not talking about La Parka.
No, it's Los Parker. LAS or LOS Parker. But
So,
anyway,
okay, go ahead.
what happened is they were in a wrestling match and they decided to take it upon themselves to grab the referee, take a couple water bottles, shove him down the back of his pants open, and then take a belt and rip the referee in the back with the belt. The referee didn't know that this was going to happen. They did not talk to the referee before this happened. During the match, they grabbed the referee and they just decided to do this. Now, to me, that is unprofessional. If you're going to do something like that, you got to talk to the referee so that he knows what's going on. And as you said, he didn't care about the being ripped part. The part that embarrassed him was having the water bottle shoved down the back of his pants because it looked like he wet his pants, and then he had to look the rest of the night his pants that looked like he peed his pants. See, you're
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. It just, you know why I think it's funny, bro? Because it's such a sophomoric and immature thing to do. I mean, come on. The guy's just trying to do his job, and he probably been in on the angle if you would have just told the guy. So absolutely agree that was totally unprofessional. But if I was in the crowd, I probably would have enjoyed it because I would have assumed that it was all part of the show. And knowing that the ref didn't know tells me that his expression was priceless. Like, what the hell are you? Because sometimes you kind of gotta amp up the reaction because you know it's coming. You know, you're a referee. You know what I'm talking about. You know something's gonna happen. You're like, all right, as soon as it happens, I gotta make sure I lose my mind. But this just the thought of this dude with the cold water going down his cheeks, bro. You know, it gives me laughs. But I do genuinely hope that those guys had a very serious talking to and were warned, hey, you know what? We don't do that here. And if you do that again, you're not going to be booked again. But you can't tell me that from a fan's perspective, Joe. I know you're looking at it from a referee's perspective, but if you were looking at it from a fan's perspective, you can't tell me that shit wouldn't be entertaining to you. Because I love referee spots. Every promotion I've been to does referee spots, and most of the time they're great. They really are.
So, kicked out of the wrestling promotion. They no longer work for that wrestling promotion because, you know, it was despicable.
But hilarious. Oh, I'm so mean. I'm so damn mean. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Well, anyway, Jonesy, I'm pretty excited, bro, because we are just a couple of minutes away. Kitt Reaver show, and I'm double excited because this Saturday we're going to be working together at Gold Rush over in Salina for XWE, bro. It's going to be a great show. And I wanted to kind of share something with you that I hadn't even mentioned to you, Joe. This is kind of a Wrestle Talk deal. So you know how we switched to YouTube, and the YouTube link has been doing really great. Our video from last week hit 100 views in less than 7 days, which, if you guys know anything about YouTube, that's not easy to do, especially if you're an upstart channel. Well, I found a way to do it both on YouTube and on Facebook Live at the same time. So we're actually live on both right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, make some noise. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, make some noise and we'll shout you out. What's up, George? What's up, Mike? What's up, Brent? Please share this broadcast, guys. We do this because we love professional wrestling and we try to bring you guys the very best content that we possibly can. So first, Joe, I got two bits of news. That's number one. What do you think about the fact that we're back on Facebook Live?
freaking awesome, and I definitely like that we're back on Facebook Live. Hopefully it doesn't screw up again like it used to, but it seems to be looking pretty good though. So let's pray and hope that it continues that way.
Oh, dude, and you know what? 100%, dude. I hope it does continue because up to this point it's been fantastic. We're getting a lot of great reaction, man, and we want you guys to keep it coming. So here's the other thing that I wanted to mention to you, and you know I don't like to jinx myself, but a little bit earlier today, I had the opportunity to spend about 15, probably closer to 20 minutes on the phone with somebody whose name you're going to immediately recognize, somebody who just recently kind of reappeared on the pro wrestling radar, but somebody that most fans of the Attitude Era will quickly recognize. And the reason that I was on the phone with this individual was because we were trying to schedule an appearance on the show. And I didn't want to say anything to anybody until it was 100% locked in, okay? Because any of you who have ever been a guest on the show know that we're pretty consistent and persistent about, hey, let's book a date, let's get your info over. And once we have all that, that's when I say, okay, we got this booking confirmed for the show. So I know I'm building it up a lot, and it's for good reason. So ladies and gentlemen, next week, during the second featured spot segment, which is 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, we will be having the one, the only Barry Horowitz on the show. And he has agreed to stay on with us as long as we would like. So we may even get him in a little bit early so we have extra time. So spread the news, tell the people, hey, there's a dope wrestling podcast. Sometimes they talk local, sometimes they talk national or international, but every once in a while they bring in some incredible guests. Barry Horowitz, ladies and gentlemen, will join us on the Wrestle Talk podcast episode number 258 next week, and it's going to be tremendous. Jonesy, your reaction.
That is absolutely amazing. Barry Horowitz is a wrestler I used to watch when I was younger. He was most famous for having a unwinning streak, like kind of like what Kurt Hogan did. But he continued going, and Barry is some of the greatest wrestlers that you can possibly think of. So I'm excited.
Dude, I'm absolutely excited. And here's the best part about it. This isn't just some like opportunity where you and me get to sit like in a back room, like in a locker room or something and just talk to him. This interview will be open to the public, which means if you're a Barry Horowitz fan or if you're a fan of that era and you want to ask questions about what was going on in the locker room back then, WCW, WWE, whatever you want to call it, you can call in just like today. That's it. That's what Wrestle Talk brings to the table, guys. We let you talk to the hottest up-and-coming talent, and we let you guys talk to WWE Hall of Famers, WCW legends, so on and so forth, man. That's what we do it. And you know what, dude? I would be remiss if I didn't say this, Jonesy. One of the other things that we do that really makes me excited, and I know you guys probably noticed the change in the backdrop tonight, that for those of you who are watching on the live stream, there are a bunch of flyers behind me that I personally went out and printed on my own dime, okay? And these posters are for the FWWC SummerSlam watch party hosted by the Wrestle Talk podcast at Esports Bar in Shawnee. Jonesy, I know you stepped up to the plate and made sure that we had everything that we needed to make sure the event goes off without a hitch. And I'm telling you, dude, not only are we going to watch the pay-per-view together, okay? It's $5 to get in if you buy them early, okay? We're going to have discounted drinks. One of the drinks that they created for us is the RKO. Go in there and try it. If not, just go in and buy a beer for $2.50. I mean, you know what I mean? They're going to have some food, some bar food available, but this place is red and black leather couches, PlayStation 4s, Xbox Ones. It's about 10 minutes outside of downtown Kansas City, so it's not really far and out of your way. If you're in this area, whether you're coming from Wichita or maybe you're coming down from Iowa or coming up from Oklahoma, it's easy to get to, and it is the best pro wrestling watch party environment that you could ever ask for. I know we're not the only ones that do them, Jonesy, and I've been to some other watch parties, bro. The one that we put together, bro, is the best because you got local talent that comes in. They're signing autographs, taking pictures, and they've got their merch available, obviously. We give stuff away all night. There's championships from pretty much every corner of the world that you can imagine that are there that you can pick up and take pictures with and do whatever the hell you want to do. And the best part about it, dude, is once you get in, you can actually, if you decide, hey, you know what, these matches are boring, dude, you can play video games all night. $10 unlimited gaming, Xbox or PlayStation, and they got all the games, bro. Fortnite, NBA, NFL, Call of Duty. The dude's got everything, man. And I don't spend a whole lot of time pimping stuff here on the show. It's usually quick little stuff. But I'm telling you, on August 11th at Esports Bar KC, it's going to go down. And I'm thinking we're going to hit somewhere close to 60 to 70 people, which is huge for a watch party. And we're going to go and we're going to shut the sucker down. Kids are welcome until about 9:30 or 10 o'clock because, you know, there's school night the next night. But otherwise, man, everybody can hang out, come chill in a safe environment. We'll Uber you home if we need to. It is a special, special thing that we do here, man. And it makes me proud because we're partnering with local business owners like Royal Mills Transportation, Esports, and a couple of others, man. It's really a special thing. Jonesy, I know you've been to your fair share of the events, and I know you love them as well, dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I always have fun at the watch parties, and I know for a fact that you guys are gonna have an amazing time. You know, everybody from the FWWC is gonna be there, and you know, SummerSlam's gonna be a great event itself. You know, you're gonna have Trish Stratus against Charlotte Flair. You're gonna have Kevin Owens against Shane Man, Roman Reigns is going to be wrestling somebody. We didn't get to announce who he was going to be wrestling, so it's going to be a really, really good show. But I do want to correct myself. It's not Las Parkas. It's Los Parks. LOS Parks. I sent a link to the video to you, and they said that you can watch it and laugh like everybody else seems to want to laugh about.
So you don't find the comedy in that, because I'm not happy that the official wasn't in on it, because I think the communication should be there, but it is funny.
If I was there at the event and if I saw that happen, I would probably laugh. But when I found out that he wasn't even in on it, and they just decided to just do that, you know, I wouldn't have been too happy about that. But yeah, it's called, the name is Los Parks. LOS Parks.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so what else could we talk about on the high spot?
Well, Jonesy, here's one thing. No, I absolutely do. And I know that we've got a couple of callers that have been anxious to get on, and we're going to get with you guys here in just a minute, especially for those folks who've been anxious to jump on and talk FWWC. The conversation's just been flowing so well that we didn't want to interrupt it. Wanted to give a quick shout out to Justin Pritchard, first-time viewer here on the show. Thank you for the love and support, man. If you're enjoying us, go ahead and give us a follow and share the broadcast. We appreciate the love, man. Hopefully, if you're here local, you can come out and check out the show, or if you're somewhere else in the U.S. or beyond, dude, you're welcome to watch all the time, anytime. We love the fact that you're here. Here's the thing that I wanted to discuss. Okay, so, and I know this is very broad, but I think it's important because most of us, whether we're big-time indie fans or we love AEW, most of us keep tabs on the WWE to a certain extent. And this past week, we saw Brock Lesnar attack Seth Rollins, but it wasn't a normal attack. He didn't throw him into the barricade a few times and, hit him with a chair in the back a few times. This was significantly more brutal than that. And I think to myself, we've been begging, we've been pleading, we've been demanding as a fan base that they stop giving us this cookie cutter bubblegum bullshit, right? We're like, give us some hardcore shit. So we're getting it, and I'm okay with it because I'm almost immune to it, right? Because I watch so much wrestling, but I'm sitting and I'm watching it with my kids, and my kids are legitimately like, they're torn on whether or not they think it's cool and edgy or just completely inappropriate and something that they're almost disgusted by, right? Because the level of brutality was a little bit higher than what we typically see. So my question is to the folks out there in the Wrestle Talk podcast fam, are they going to go too far? Because in an effort to compete with everything else that's going on around the world of professional wrestling, we know that the big dog is going to also likely be, they're going to be very likely to follow trends. Is this the trend that you guys want to see? Do you want to see Seth Rollins potentially be left out of SummerSlam because they wanted to work this angle to a point where it looked like Brock Lesnar was really your favorite wrestlers running a much higher risk of potentially missing a year? Open up Pandora's box and you start doing some of the shit that the fans want, Jonesy, you also have to be prepared to face those consequences. So what do you guys think, man? Do you prefer them to stay a little bit conservative just to make sure that the guys are okay because they're wrestling 3 or 4 nights a week? Or you're like, screw it. Bring us back to the Attitude Era. Let's see some of that ECW shit back. What do y'all really want? Because I think from a day in, day out basis, Jonesy, it's almost like people can't decide. And unfortunately, you can't have it both ways because you're going to have a lot of people getting injured and you're going to have main event matches that are missing people and shows that are not going to be as good as they could be because of it. And I personally don't want to see that. But I want to know what you think, and I want to know what everybody else out there, the Wrestle Talk podcast family, thinks about that.
You know, I actually liked it. I thought that it was a pretty cool segment, and it just shows the power and the brutality of Brock Lesnar. You know, I can almost promise you that Seth Rollins will be there at SummerSlam wrestling Brock Lesnar. I wish that Brock Lesnar was not the Universal Champion. You know my thoughts about Brock Lesnar as the Universal Champion.
I do.
But that was definitely a turn of events, and I think that they did it that way to get the reaction out of the fans. Like, this dude didn't just beat Seth Rollins up. He didn't just destroy Seth Rollins. He damn near killed Seth Rollins. Like, I can't tell you how many times did he give him the F5 on that steel chair. And then he gave him the F5 on the gurney. When he gave him the F5 on the gurney, my first reaction was, there ain't no way that didn't hurt. The way his legs, oh my God! That gurney, like, that was legs on metal. So, you know, yeah, I can promise you that Seth Rollins probably felt that one more than he felt the chairs. But I thought that it was a great way of showing Brock Lesnar's brutality and what he could do.
So wait. So I got to stop you there. So is this the first ever documented conversation where you are actually putting over something Brock Lesnar did? Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This might be the first time ever that you've said something nice about Brock Lesnar, and I want to make sure that it goes down in the record books because you've been dogging this man for years, but now you're applauding him? I mean, you seem to be happy with the fact that he almost killed the number one contender for the Universal Championship. Make up your mind, you fickle man. Fickle.
It shows his brutality. I still cannot stand Brock Lesnar as Universal Champion. If the WWE wants to make Brock Lesnar a special attraction, that is perfectly fine. You can make him a special attraction. But you don't have to give him the Universal Championship. What pisses me off about Brock Lesnar being the Universal Champion and not actually wrestling on Monday Night Raw is now you get to see the Raw Tag Team titles mean more than the Universal Championship. The United States Championship means more than the Universal Championship. The Women's Championship means more than the Universal Championship because of the fact that you see them and the champions actually wrestle on Monday night, every single Monday night except for Brock Lesnar. So I applaud the brutality that Brock Lesnar displayed. It still pisses me the hell off that Brock Lesnar is the Universal Champion because I don't feel Brock Lesnar should be the Universal Champion.
Damn.
I feel that the Universal Champion should actually be wrestling on Monday Night Raw. They going it.
Bow. Shots fired! Shots fired!
I got into an argument with somebody, not an argument, but a debate with somebody about this, and their response was that it brings prestige to the WWE Universal Championship by only having about half of the at pay-per-views. And I'm like, are you smoking crack? If you watch the TV show, I can guarantee you he's there wrestling. Impact Wrestling, their heavyweight champion wrestles. Kofi Kingston, he wrestles every single Tuesday night.
Okay, well, listen here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. So ultimately, when we can't decide if something is good or bad, we just go to Mama Time, and it's like the magic 8 ball when you were growing up. You know, if you're like an 80s or 90s kid, you'll remember this, all right? So we're gonna shake the magic 8 ball and ask Mama Time what she thinks about Brock Lesnar as the WWE Universal Championship. Mama Time? Well, there you go. She thinks it's shit, and there's nobody that can argue with Mama Time. And I also got my folks on the YouTube live feed who are going nuts right now, talking about Namaste, Nightmare Jones. You need to calm down because we got some folks that think you're going a little bit overboard, man. They don't want you to hyperventilate. I will say...
When it's time for the FWWC segment, that's when the other Nightmare Jones comes out. Right now, you got Joe Lance right now, god damn it.
All right. Well, listen, speaking of the FWWC, we do have a couple of callers who want to come on and talk with us. We are about 5, maybe 10 minutes away from Kitt Reaver. You guys hang in there. We're going to do a quick break in between, and then we're going to come back and have him on, man, for the better part of about 40 to 45 minutes. So I'm really excited. We're going to get to talk about a lot of cool shit because he's been doing a lot of cool shit. So make sure you guys hang on after the break. But before we do that, Jonesy, I believe we have the Bishop, who's been holding pretty much since the beginning of the show. Not sure what he wants to talk about, but all I know is that he's going to be defending at FWWC SummerSlam. And I think he's got some thoughts for his opponents because things have been getting really heated concerning the FWWC Red Brands Intercontinental Championship. So let's go ahead and bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bishop, Devontae D. Oh, shut your mouth, Jonesy. Let the man come in and do his thing.
Jonesy, night out. How y'all doing this evening?
Hey.
I'm doing wonderful. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Well, you mentioned the Intercontinental Championship, and I do have a title defense coming up against Jimbo Slice, one of the legends here in the FWWC. But you see, there's also been another legend, a returning legend that for some reason has been knocking at my door. A gentleman by the name of Theory. And I heard what he had to say not too long ago. Theory wants in to the Intercontinental Championship match. But it's like I said, I'm too big to find. I'm not that hard to find. All you gotta do is come looking. If you see a big brown cat with a black coat toting a bat in the Intercontinental Championship, you know that it's Bishop. So if Theory wants a shot at the IC title, I say come and get it.
Nightmare, I got to have you jump in on this because you've got your history with Bishop.
Well, so I've been told I have history with Bishop Bishop, it's really, really nice to meet you. I am Nightmare Jones. Hopefully one day we can get into the ring together. I would love to get you into the ring. And you're talking about this guy Theory, and I've heard stories about Theory and some of the things that he's done in the FWWC. I gotta ask, does that worry you about some of the things that he has done in the FWWC? I've never faced him. I've never even met the guy. So,
am I worried? You're wondering if I should be worried about Theory. He came knocking at my door. You see, I've heard all about the legend Theory. Matter of fact, Night Owl, you told me yourself that he once got on someone so bad that they left the FWWC. Well, I'll say this right now. I've gone through a lot this year. And if Theory thinks that he's just going to come in and run me off, then he's going to have a war on his hands. Now, I've heard all about, his roast is, he's a good trash talker. But you see, I like to settle my fights in the ring. Fist to fist, eye to eye, man to man. And I have plans for the Intercontinental Championship. And Night Owl, Jones, I have no plans on letting it go just yet because I want to be Universal Champion soon and very soon.
Soon and very soon. Well, Bishop, thank you for calling in. Guys, I hear you chomping at the bit. I know everybody's excited. We're going to have Kitt Reaver on in just a matter of moments. But we do have to wrap up a couple of phone calls with the folks of the FWWC. And just know, we're kind of merging that segment with the High Spot segment. So if you guys want to talk about some of the topics that we've discussed tonight or bring something else to the table, we absolutely want to talk about it. But you know what takes priority? If you want to talk indie wrestling, if there's a promotion in your area that you're really excited about, that you think the world needs to know about, we will put you to the front of the line because that's what we're here for. You guys know, anybody who's listened to Wrestle Talk for any extended period of time, you know that's our shit. That is our flavor of ice cream, independent wrestling. And that said, I think it's only appropriate that we bring on the line a champion. That's right. The one and only women's champion of the FWWC, ladies and gentlemen. A woman who don't take crap from nobody. And she is representing the women's division as their champion, the one, the only hardcore sis.
what's going on, darling? How you doing?
Did you just call me darling?
What?
Well, sure.
Really?
Look, when a woman comes on to the podcast, Nightmare Jones is supposed to be a gentleman. So I'm being nice. It's a pleasure.
You know, it's
Oh my God. Wait.
I gotta say,
Go ahead. Sorry, sis. All I wanted to jump in and say real quick was we do have a barometer to measure how well that went, okay, with Nightmare Jones actually trying to be nice to you. And here are the results.
Never drew a dime. Not a dime.
All right.
that's a first.
that's a
Definitely a first. Yeah.
What's on your mind, sis?
I gotta tell you. Well, you were talking about indie wrestling, and Hardcore Sis actually, Saturday night, Hardcore Sis got to go to an indie show, and I was there. One of the great indie wrestlers, a guy you all may know. I know that he's been trying to get. You guys been trying to get a thing with him. A guy by the name of Shane Malice. Awesome guy. He's a really great guy. And, Hardcore Sis got pictures with him, and I was able to meet another, it's NWL, is what they call the group here, and their champion is a guy by the name of Anthony Adams, and he is just awesome, and it was a great night. It really was, and I had a blast. Of course, a couple of the wrestlers got a little mouthy, and Hardcore Sis stood up and said a few things, and they told me to shut up, and I kind of let them know that they had no clue who they were talking to, but it was all good, but almost got to a scrap with one of them. But it was good.
You're the best, sis. I swear. Fighting wrestlers and stuff. I love you.
I'll tell you what. You go to a wrestling show in our area, and I will be there. And if somebody, one of the wrestlers wants to talk about, Nightmare Jones has got your back. Let me tell you, I will defend a woman's honor. Nightmare Jones has hardcore sisters back.
Oh my gosh. Intern Timmy's playing too much right now.
Nightmare Jones, let me tell you, as flattering as that is, I do appreciate hardcore sis don't need no backup. Hardcore sis got her own back.
Wow, there you go.
And,
Fighting ch- Love to hear that, sis.
That's it. Hardcore sis don't take no gruff. And when I walk into one of those shows, I definitely got my title over my shoulder, and I let them know I am the SWWC Women's Champion, and I don't take gruff from not even a guy that calls himself Weight of the World scares hardcore sis.
You're talking about Corey Bush. Now, Corey Bush, hardcore says, I do know quite a bit about Corey Bush, and he has the ability to squash people like a bug. You do realize that? Like
yeah. But he is definitely the weight of the world. But hardcore sis ain't worried about him either. I'm not worried about him. But there is one other thing I want to bring up while I've got you guys on the line, and that is that at SummerSlam, hardcore sis is in a match against the Enchantress and one other opponent who has yet to be named. Now, I don't know if it's going to be that little white rabbit girl or if it's going to be that other, what is she, a raven or whatever, or that chick that fell off of something. I don't know if it's going to be her or the white rabbit chick, but whoever it is, I promise you ladies one thing. Hardcore sis is leaving the arena with the title still on her shoulders, but it's going to be one hell of a night. And you ladies better be ready, because hardcore sis will be.
Well, I have a question. Go ahead, Nightmare. I'll let you go first because I got a question too.
I was actually talking to my best friend Tank Westbrook, and he told me he was going to be in the match. It's going to be hardcore sis, Enchantress, and Battle Cat. But for some reason, Battle Cat was the women's championship.
What?
He said that was the only title that Battle Cat was going to be able to win with the women's championship. So,
jeez Louise.
I don't know. I've never met this Battle Cat guy, but people don't seem to.
Will you stop that, Jonesy? Stop!
Battle Kitty doesn't stand. Battle Kitty don't stand a chance against hardcore sis. So,
well, you know what?
He ain't going home with that title.
Well, you know what? I want to close this conversation out with hardcore sis by saying this. Jonesy, you may have heard the rumor about Battle Cat, but I heard a rumor that since you bumped your head and can't even remember who you are, you actually don't even know how you identify. So there's a chance that it might be you who ends up in the women's championship match. How about that?
Johnny. It very, very well could be, but I'm pretty sure that if that was the case, that my best friend Tank Westbrook would have told me that I was in this match. So I don't think that's gonna happen.
Jeez Louise. Hardcore sis, final thoughts.
Alexandria.
Alexandria.
You want to step in the ring. Hardcore sis has no problem knocking your memory right back into you. How's that? I got no.
And there goes hardcore sis. Sorry about that, sis. We looks like we ran out of time with you there. Jonesy, I'm telling you, these callers are not backing down. Whether you have your memory or not, it looks like they're not going to stop coming at your throat, man. I know that's no fun for you, but ultimately, dude, it's what you got to deal with when you're performing in the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. That's the FWWC. More information for you guys over at WrestleTalkPodcast.com/FWWC. if you've always wanted to be a professional wrestler, but you can't, if it's a financial thing, if it's a physical thing, maybe it's a mental thing, like my man Jonesy over here who can't even remember who he is, but you still want to have that feeling of competing and being a champion and actually holding a belt, the FWWC is the place for you. There's a lot of people who are aspiring wrestlers or current and former wrestlers that like to work with us because of our ability to promo and our production value, which I think rivals a lot of promotions throughout the country. The FWWC is the place to do that, guys. You want to hone your skills, it's a great place. And you're not going to see better promos than what we do in the FWWC. No disrespect to any company in the area or beyond, but the promos you see in the FWWC are fan-freaking-tastic, second to none. Jonesy, any final thoughts on what you've seen so far of the FWWC since you're so new at it now? Or do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you quitting? Are you staying? What's going on?
There's so much stuff that's going on. It's kind of hard to wrap my brain about it. You know, every competitor is absolutely amazing. Every competitor is tag team partner, Tank Westbrook, are just here to spread the love and positivity to the FWWC. But I just have one question, and maybe you can help me answer this question. There's a gentleman in the FWWC named El Mata, and it seems like every time that I get near his locker room and I go to knock on his door, Tank Westbrook comes in and tells me that El Mata doesn't want to talk, that he's too busy, and he brings me back to the locker room. Why doesn't Tank want me to talk to El Mata?
Well, I don't know, Jonesy, but there's been rumors that there's a reason why that's happening, why he's been trying to keep you away from El Mata. El Mata, oddly enough, and we don't usually get a whole lot from him here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. You guys can usually hear him on the FWWC Tonight podcast, which is the Fantasy Wrestling's exclusive podcast where they talk just fantasy wrestling, the whole show. Again, WrestleTalkPodcast.com. He did send me this via email and asked me to play it on the show, and I saw no harm in it, though I couldn't get the file to play when I tried to test it. So we're going to go ahead and try it. If it doesn't work, that's fine. If it does, that's great. But when I tried to listen to it, I couldn't hear it. So let's see. Here it is. Looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to give you. Some of them want to be out you. Slide until you see yourself on the shot. We may have to adjust that mic. Almost. And drop these. Just put it right there. Yeah.
There we go. All right. Did it. Just cheers.
So we're breaking.
Commercial.
Oh, so how's the ride over?
It was easy. I'm getting used to that bike.
Even in the wet roads?
Yeah. It's easy today. I took it on the highway last night for the first time.
So what happens when you have to get to work in the rain? You still take it?
I have a car too, so I'll take my car. But yeah, I'm just forcing myself to go out and do it. Yeah, me and my friend Lynn, terrible sick. Shouldn't have done this. I went to the bar last night and had a couple shots, and then rode. Dude, it helps so much though. Completely. Because my buddy, he's got a bike that's super fast. So went out with him. We had some shots. Got on the highway because I'd only put it up to 70, we got on the highway last night. I was going like
The trailer
75,
started
80,
kicking in and shit.
started getting in. And I was like, oh, shit, I can actually do this. Because like when I first took on the highway, because I have to take the highway to work.
Check this
Yo,
out.
what up?
This is
Night
me.
out.
I did this for the show. Listen,
Night near Jones.
listen. You'll like
What
it.
up, Wrestle Talk fam? Do it for y'all. Check me out. Kick in the door, wave in the 4-4. Even them haters can't hate us no more. To unlock your door, cause we got some more. Every Wednesday we here, keeping it raw. Night out, night near Jones, and all the best guests. Like a double barrel pointed right at your chest. Wrestle Talk Podcast.com. Smashing and killing it like the night of the prom.
You know what? You know.
Yes.
What do you mean that's about to listen to that song? What are you talking about? I kind of like that. That song.
Looks like Jonesy.
That's something brought back memories. You know, like there's something. I somehow I remember that song change. So I'm not allowed to listen to that song anymore.
Wow.
Apparently, I'm not allowed to listen to the song anymore.
Jonesy, well, listen. I want to thank everybody who joined us during the first hour. It was a kick-ass first hour. It's a show unto itself during the first hour. But now we're going to transition over and welcome everybody back to episode 257 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. And it's a special one because it's another first for us, right? Every week we do something a little bit different, which is wild, right, about the show. This week we're going to welcome in a guy that I've gotten to know before the podcast. Usually, like, I'll talk to a guy, we'll set up an interview, and then eventually we meet each other or whatever, but it kind of happened the other way around. This guy right here, ladies and gentlemen, his name is Kitt Reaver, and he is making waves that are being felt throughout the pro wrestling world today. Like every weekend, and sometimes even during the week, you are applying your craft, and you've had an opportunity to do it now in some of the most recognizable companies, particularly here in the Midwest. Yeah. Made some time for us tonight, and we're going to have a good time. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the show for the very first time ever, the one, the only, Kitt Reaver. Jonesy, say hello. Say hello.
Hello, Jonesy.
What's going on, Kitt? How's it going, sir?
Good, sir. How about you?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. It is an amazing a thing to have you on the podcast tonight.
It is. I give you that.
Well, Jonesy, let me jump ahead of you real quick here, because I got a little treat for you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got a surprise for Kitt, Joe, and then I'll let you do your thing.
Uh-oh.
So down there, right in the dark, deep, shadowy area there, if you reach far enough, no, a little further.
A little further.
Yeah, I know you're agile. Keep reaching down to the right there. You should feel something that looks similar to this.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have to get down here.
Yeah, I had it. Yeah, right underneath there.
Yes.
Yes,
Look at that.
I stashed it in a good spot.
A Wrestle Talk cup.
A Wrestle Talk podcast mug, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to pour your no, not that old hot one, a new fresh one, because I've had a chance to share a beer with this man Jonesy once before, and it was after the last XWE show.
It is
true. And it was freaking badass. Like, your match with Malico was crazy, and I got a bunch of questions about that. But Joe's actually seen you from afar. He's actually out in Baltimore. Man, all right.
there. If you go to YouTube, and there is a music video of me, a band called Celadora. And I did music for like a good 3 or 4 years. So I toured, but in the metal scene, there's all these different subgenres of music. So you have like metalcore and, post-hardcore. So there's all these like subgenres of music. And I always like to I always thought like wrestling, and for me anyway, was similar to music. And I think that music and wrestling kind of are this.
So the travel, the camaraderie,
yeah,
it's entertainment.
Very much.
There's a lot of high energy and adrenaline associated with performing in front of a live audience, right?
Yep.
Because you've got, like, in a band, you're in front of the crowd, you suck, and they hate you, and you're great, they cheer you.
Yep.
And sometimes even if you're great, they boo you.
They still do.
Right?
Yes.
So those are some. Can you think of any others?
I mean, so not just in that as a performer, yeah, absolutely. Music, being on the road and stuff, it's the exact same. The only difference is, like, if I'm traveling alone, I have that freedom to travel alone if I decide to travel alone, which sometimes I do. Even if I have a carload of guys that will go with me, sometimes I like just being in my car by myself, thoughts to myself, and just driving. But so when you're in a band, you don't have that option. You have 6 guys with you
all the time
in a van, and you're eating McDonald's every
days
night.
Where you shower, days where you don't shower.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
But even more so, like the lifestyle, completely the same. And it's the hustle, right? It's selling, it's performing and being over or popular enough to get people to buy your merch. Because at the end of the day, we want to make money. We obviously love art.
By the way, have you had a chance to try these amazing Wrestle Talk podcast mugs? Guaranteed to make your beer taste 17% better.
17.5.
It's scientifically proven.
It is proven. Watch.
Yeah, there was
better.
Much better. 17.5% better.
Better.
There you go. Please proceed.
So the lifestyle is completely the same, but even more so to me, I always felt like, because I've been watching wrestling since I was a little kid. So for me anyway, I always felt like wrestling and music a lot of times solicit the same emotions. Like you can listen to a sad song and feel a certain way. You can listen to
what about rage?
Exactly.
Woo!
You listen to a metal song, you feel a certain way.
Hell
and
yeah!
I feel like wrestling can do that same thing. Like if you have a super emotional match that you get super invested in, it can have those same emotions. So back to the whole tying it all in. Like I always tied music and wrestling together. So as music has all of its genres, I now have created my own genre of wrestling. It is my style because I like to think that though I wrestle similar to certain people, I have a certain style and a certain swag and a certain flair to myself that no one else has. And so hence why I am not just the king, but the inventor of Wrestlecore. It is my own genre of wrestling that I am creating, basically.
Jonesy, before you jump in with your next comment or question, I want to pay you a compliment. And people don't like comparisons, but I don't give a shit. It's my show, damn it. I pay the bills. All right. No, all kidding aside, we had a chance when we were still kind of in our infancy and gaining some traction on the show. One day, a guy named Marek Brave came on the show, and I had to do some research on him because I'd never seen him wrestle live. And
I know Marek.
Are you familiar? Right. He's pretty awesome. He runs a wrestling school with Seth Rollins. Anybody coming out of that place is legit. So when I first saw you, I always, because you do that, you're like, oh, does he look like Jordan? Does he look like Kobe? Does he look like Shaq? Right? Like, so I was like, who does he look like? And that's who came to mind. So would you take that as a compliment?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But Marek Brave is amazing. There's a reason why
he's the shiznit.
Yeah, there's a reason why Seth has him running the
whole thing.
Yeah. So no, Marek Brave is an awesome dude. And yeah, so that's definitely a compliment. That's more than a compliment. That's awesome.
Tight. Jonesy?
Absolutely. So my next question is, you hold the longest title reign with the United Liberty title.
Yes, here we go.
What's it like to say that you have held that title longer than anybody else?
It's something I am extremely proud of. Not just like the fact that I held that title longer. I like to think, and not just like to think, I know this just from crowd reaction and people talking to me and stuff. I like to think that what I did with that Liberty title, and I have to give the devil his due because that Liberty title really was built on one feud. Like I had matches in the in-between, right? I did. And props to any of those people I had matches with. But that Liberty title was really built around one feud in particular. And the matches that came out of that feud and the matches that came because of that title were amazing. And that would be because of Leo D. Yes. That feud is a feud that I will always get to remember having. Me and Leo had amazing matches between PCW and XWE. We did an Iron Man match that went 45 minutes. We did a last man standing match that was a great match. So in that time, I got to be the champion for an extremely long period of time. I like to think that I elevated that title to be almost, I know this, that at one point that title was more talked about than the XWE heavyweight title. People were still curious about the XWE heavyweight title, which I will win that next, or no, not next week. I will win that in 3 days. But everybody was talking about the Liberty title when it was me and Leo going back and forth for it. So it's something I'm super proud of. Especially coming in as a guy, when I started with XWE, I started as a guy that just wanted an opportunity. I showed up to shows without being booked. I showed up to shows without ever having an idea to do anything. I just went down there, took my bag, and I got lucky enough to get on shows. And so to come from last year, no one knew who I was, to where fast forward a year now, longest reigning United Liberty champion, and now I'm in, going for the heavyweight title, Malaco. It really is awesome.
Great question, Joe.
Yeah, it definitely is a amazing thing. And my last question before I throw it to Renee is, you talked about your feud with Leo D, but I wanted to talk about this. You gentlemen had a last man standing match, and what was it like having a last man standing match with Leo D?
Mentally,
we had on the Wrestlecore podcast before.
Yeah, mentally, I that was my first last man standing match ever. So mentally, you have to prepare yourself. So beyond physically, because I am in the gym every day, besides my cheat days. But like you have to not just get yourself physically ready, but mentally ready. Because it's two guys beating the crap out of each other until one person does up. So it's me and Leo hitting each other with everything we have until one of us can't get up anymore. So that match, I want to say that match was like 30 minutes long. And we went through tables, and I mean, it took me duct taping him and giving him the hero killer.
Yeah.
While he was duct taped, not just duct taped with his hands behind his back, but I duct taped his feet as well. So the man was for me to win, I had to duct tape this man and then give him the hero killer from the top rope. And that just goes to show how intense those matches were, because they really were. So a lot of it was just being mentally prepared, but it really was maybe my favorite match I've ever done.
Wow. Okay. And my last question, and this is a really, really simple question. SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. Who you got?
Oh man, I mean, I'm a Seth guy all day, every day. So I got to go with Seth. Seth's my guy. That dude is an inspiration for me. I love watching him work. I always watch him and study him. He's one of the guys I study on a regular basis. So Seth all the way.
There you go. Kitt Reaver is going with Seth Rollins.
I am.
Renee, I didn't ask you that question. So Renee, same question. Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, who you got?
Uh-oh.
All right. So do you want me to answer with my heart or my mind?
Whichever.
They DQ it somehow, and that's the match at WrestleMania. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my prediction for SummerSlam.
I like it.
So you're saying that they're going to DQ it. Seth Rollins goes to the Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble, and then faces Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Correct.
Nice.
I don't see anybody taking the spot. I don't see anybody taking the spot that Brock Lesnar has right now, and barring injury, I don't see anybody taking the spot that Seth Rollins has. And I'll say why. There's a lot of guys who are great. There's a lot of guys that you pay homage to, yes, like when you do your thing.
Yep. But
I don't think anybody's got the momentum that Seth has, because not only does he have the casual fan, he's got the internet fans.
Yes, he does.
If he talks shit on Will Ospreay, everybody's trying to figure out a way to defend Seth Rollins. Yeah. Why? Because he's connected with the fans on a level. Maybe it's because he's a Midwesterner.
Could be that.
I don't know. Maybe people need to start learning,
yeah,
right? The humility of the Midwestern people.
Don't look over the Midwest.
That's right. Don't sleep
Don't sleep on the Midwest.
Don't sleep on the Midwest, man.
It's hyping.
Absolutely. Well, I was gonna try to restrain myself a little bit, but there's some pretty off the wall questions I have that I know you'll be able to answer. So there's a few moves in wrestling that I'm always like, how the hell? Speaking of Seth Rollins, right? Like the gurney gimmick on out to Mr. Saturday Night, Michael Berry, who popped up as a physician for Alexa Bliss. That was very cool. A former guest of the show, absolutely wonderful guy. Dude, the coup de grace, which is something that you use, and you use that on K-Dose to win the MEW Heavyweight Championship. That's one of those moves that I look at and I'm like, how do they avoid hurting the person? I'm not trying to get you to give any secrets away, but is that something that when you're up there, you're always like, okay?
I mean, nope.
Or is it like boom?
Yeah,
like you're good.
It's just boom. You know, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna take it and you're gonna feel it. Because mine's a little bit different.
Kyle hasn't been the same since then. I'm just saying he lost to Malachi. Listen, I'm not trying. I love Kyle. Like, that's my guy, right? He's been, great guy. But after that, was, I don't know.
He was done. Well, so I usually do it a little bit different. Sometimes I'll do the normal boom to the chest, but the actual hero killer is when they are on like all fours or they're getting up. Because I like to strike. I like to give them a little bit. I like to give them a little bit of hope, right? So they're kind of getting up. They have a little bit of hope, like they're still in it. So they're kind of getting up, and then boom, they're done. So that's how it's usually done. But sometimes I'll do it to the chest if you know.
It's devastating, bro.
Yeah,
it is.
As far as like, do I know if I'm going to hurt somebody? Nope, I don't. And if they get hurt, you know, that's part of wrestling. Kitt Reaver.
Chalk it up.
That's
chalk it up to wrestling.
They have health insurance.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's part of the reason that's part of, because like even without you saying that, most people know like this dude's just gonna put on a good match, and if he ends up friends with the guy that he's facing, cool. And if he doesn't, then he doesn't really care. Yeah. And oddly enough, like this feud that you're going through right now with Malachi. And clearly, there's no chance of you guys ever being friends because he's out of his mind, and you've taken your sporadic, very unpredictable style almost to another level. So much so that you kind of came out looking a little bit different at the last show. What was the inspiration to go and play mind games with Jonesy? You got to look up this guy Malachi, man. He is legit, world class guy. He just got signed to a contract with another huge company. And obviously, he's going to be facing and defending his championship against this gentleman right here Saturday night at Gold Rush. I don't know. Somebody's walking out there with a lot of gold bars, my friend, over the shoulder.
That's always the goal. Yeah. So like Malachi is crazy, right? Insane, dude. Talks in riddles, and I don't understand half the stuff he says on a regular basis. I watched what he said about me today, and I was just like, he
was like on a patch of like
some
prairie
grass.
somewhere.
Where is he? I don't even know where he's at.
It was weird.
So after so this is not a guy that you can approach like in a normal like. Nope. I can't just go into the match and be like, all right, we're gonna have a match.
You brought balloons to the ring.
Yeah, so I knew I had to play mind games. I knew I had to get in his head a little bit. So I knowing he likes to be a clown, I went with the most terrifying clown that I always thought was the most terrifying. And everybody's perception may be a little bit different. Maybe your most terrifying clown is the clowns from outer space. I don't know. Mine was always Pennywise. Pennywise from It. Always
the first It.
Yeah, no, the one I did was based off the new one.
All right,
but because Pennywise, no matter what, I'm a huge Stephen King fan.
I can't even go and watch those movies. Really? I'm gonna make it admission. I'm kind of a softie when it comes to that shit, so it's hard for me.
So here's my thing. Like, I love It, the original and the new one. Love the whole thing. I can't wait for the sequel. Love all of it. Because people don't realize like that whole story. Like, yeah, you can have the movies,
right?
The books are so good, and like there's this huge lore. Pennywise really isn't a clown. He's like this figure that is like lived on Earth since the beginning of Earth, basically. Like he's this huge cosmic figure. Like
well, between you and me, and I don't want to get too deep here, but it's based on reality because that's Satan.
Yeah,
right? Like
So it's
right.
It's this huge. So I always just fell in love with it. So I knew I had to play with Malachi's mind a little bit, so I dressed up like the clown that I was always most afraid of as a kid, and I was Pennywise. just to mess with him a little bit, just to kind of be like, screw you, Malaco. And my goal was to get him just to play with his mind and like get him so mad. And what ends up happening? He got mad, and
you got not one match, but you got 2 matches against the champ.
He got DQ'd.
2.
He got DQ'd. So see, you have to think long term. Like, I could have not done this and not played mind games, and maybe I would have lost, and then I would not have had a rematch.
Yeah, you would have gone in as an ultra competitor and got nothing out of it.
With a strategy, you think, okay, maybe I can't beat Malaco right away. Maybe I can't beat him in one match. But if you get into his mind, you do what I do. He gets DQ'd. He's DQ'd. And then now I get to set the stipulation for Saturday. And now if he gets DQ'd or counted out, who is your new XWE heavyweight champion? Me.
And you know what? I noticed something. Like, usually it's the challenger that's always cutting those video promos against the champion. But it's like the champion is cutting promos on you.
I know.
Which isn't very normal, right? Yeah. Like, so does that mean that it worked?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see on Saturday.
We'll see his mindset. I have a big surprise coming up for Saturday too. So obviously you're gonna want.
I'm gonna be off to the right. Yeah. Like, don't come near me, bro. I don't want to see you like that. It was weird. Like, I don't want a balloon.
You're gonna have to be in attendance on Saturday. I've got a big plan for Saturday. To play more mind games with Malaco. So Saturday is gonna be good. And yeah, so I had to think long term, how to get into Malaco's head and how to get that title. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want. I want the XWE heavyweight champion. I already had the Liberty title, and now it's time to move up. It's time for me to become the XWE heavyweight champion and make that title that more relevant.
Well, that's the definition of when you take one step back to take 2 steps forward.
Exactly.
Right? Because Leo's doing his thing, killing it, having great matches. He's got Sabretooth coming up on Saturday. That's going to be a fantastic match. And between you and me, we were talking backstage, and he was like, yeah, that little MF was stiff. That little he hits hard. So I know he's going to have his adrenaline pumping, and maybe down the road we'll see you guys facing each other again, which I think would be incredible.
That's the goal. If he ever, my initial comment, like I said, and we'll always stay true, is if he doesn't hold that title to my standard, and I don't see him doing what I was doing with it, then I will come back for it, and then that title will be mine again.
I think it's in good hands.
I think right now it'll be okay. As long as he keeps doing what he's doing, I won't have to come back for it. But if he ever gets lazy, that title will come back to me.
Well, I want you to comment on something else, and I know maybe it's your style, maybe it's not, but the women's division. Mm-hmm. All right, you've got Brene versus Stormy Renee.
Right.
I know you were kind of off in your own, doing your own thing in the back. You know what I mean? Right. Very much being who you are. But I know that you caught a glimpse of the situation and what Brene did. She got involved in the multi-women match, and she cost Stormy Renee an opportunity to make an impact and win the match. That's what's kicking off the show on Saturday night. What do you expect? I mean, Stormy's very new, and Brene is nasty. She's got kind of a lot of similarities to you as far as being able to do whatever it takes to win a match. What do you expect to see out of the ladies on Saturday night?
I mean, like, mad props to all the ladies, because I feel like right now they are all stepping it up, which is awesome. And Stormy included. Brene's doing great. So I'm really looking forward to that match. I mean, I'm one of those guys, I watch every match. So I will for sure be watching the match. And Brene's nasty. Stormy, I think what Stormy's going to have to do to have any chance at that match is she's going to have to bring out an aggression that we haven't seen yet. She's, kind of been there, and she's kind of very positive, and that's just her.
It will get you so far.
It gets you so far, but having a match with someone like Brene, I think the only chance she has in going against Brene and having a chance against her is being aggressive and having an aggressive side. So if we don't see that Saturday, Brene's walking out, with the victory. But if she steps up and Stormy gets a little aggressive, then we might see something else.
See, what I've always realized is that, like, during a lot of the female matches, the kids tend to come up to the guardrails a little bit more and feel like a little bit more comfortable. But based on what happened at the last show, I would tell you that if you're going to sit in the front row,
Be prepared.
be
yes.
prepared because it's personal. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's one of those situations where you're a young wrestler and you're trying to gain an opportunity to win a championship, right?
Exactly.
Because that's what we were crowning. We were counting. It was a vacated championship. The name of the champion is escaping right now, and I don't want to make an attempt to make it up. But what I will tell you though is that when two ladies step in the ring, like what we're going to be seeing up this upcoming Saturday, it's something that is kind of a landmark moment, right? Because XWE's been successful now. I mean, with you guys doing what you're doing, with the United Liberty Championship doing what it's doing, the women's division is getting hot. And when you've had a belt vacant, exactly. And I think that's what we're going to be doing. And I can't even tell you how excited I am about the fact that I get to call the match.
Which I think everybody's looking forward to that.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, so Twitch is a new thing.
Yes, it is.
So how do you feel about the opportunity to gain that kind of exposure? Because it's huge.
To my own horn, but this was kind of my idea. I had brought this to
you're a gamer? Is that why you
so I'm not just a gamer, but I also the Wrestle Circus was one of the first promotions that ever did this.
Which, by the way, R.I.P.
Yes, R.I.P.
Wrestle Circus.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, that sucks ass.
Yes, they're one of the first promotions that ever did it, and they did the whole Twitch thing. And I told Billy, I've been kind of harping on it for about a year now. That's what we need. We need to have Twitch because we have the local TV and stuff, but we need we have too many good guys on our roster, and we have too many good matches that are not being seen by the right people that go unnoticed. So I presented the idea to do Twitch and YouTube live for our shows. So now that it's finally come to fruition, thank you to me for coming up with the idea. Now that it's finally happening,
you're welcome.
You're welcome, Billy. You can send me royalty checks. So now we will finally get an amazing Twitch stream, which I'm very looking forward to. I think it'll be a good time to be on Twitch and hang out on Twitch and have people.
Well, you know who's gonna be the voice that you're going to hear. Yes, man. And you know what? I can't claim to be an expert on the roster just yet. This is only my second show, so obviously it's something that that's a little bit difficult, right? When you're trying to gain traction and to get an understanding of everybody on the roster. But you know what makes it easy? You guys are killing it. You guys are killing it out there, dude. Like, I felt like at the last show, the fans weren't ready for the show to end.
No, yeah.
And what more could you ask for?
No, that's always my goal. Beyond the feuds and beating the crap out of whoever I'm facing, my big thing is, man, I just love performing. I love inciting a reaction out of people. So whether that reaction is somebody getting mad and getting in my face, or spitting at me, I don't care, because any reaction is a reaction. And that means I'm invoking some kind of emotions. So if you're getting mad at a show because of something I do, then I'm doing something right. And you're doing exactly what I want you to do. So I love it. I love every part of performing. It's amazing.
That is amazing. Well, Jonesy, I got a boatload of more questions, but I don't want to be selfish, man. If you want to jump in here with any thoughts or comments, it's the perfect time to do so.
Oh, absolutely. I have all kinds of questions I can ask. So,
sacrilegious for me to wear this.
Okay, so you wrestle just about everywhere. So, I mean, you wrestle with Great Gallows, Kyle King. What was it like wrestling Kyle King?
Kyle King is a very, very fun match. I obviously beat him, as I planned on doing, and I knew I was going to do. But still a good match.
It's a humble brag.
Yeah, it's a humble brag.
Humble brag.
Kyle King is one of the first. So when I first started in the business, Kyle King was one of the first guys that I worked with, training wise. And he is a guy that I go to for advice
on how to have a great tan.
Yes, how to have a great tan, how to do a lot of things. So he's a dude that I can learn a lot from. So getting the chance to wrestle him was actually really awesome. And it was something that I've been wanting for a long time. So I finally got it, and then I got to wrestle him, and it was a great match, and absolutely enjoyed. And I hoped I get to actually work him again. I'll beat him again, obviously, and I'll beat the crap out of him, but I will enjoy beating the crap out of him.
There you go, Jonesy.
There you go. And I have one more question, and I covered this earlier, and I wanted your input on this topic. This has been going around my Facebook for I think all day today. That I've seen it all over the place. And there was a guy that's talking about how he's always wanted to be a professional wrestler, and you look at the guys like Stone Cold and the Rock and Austin, and he's trained hard. And
You're talking about
Marco.
You're talking about the Marco situation.
Yes, but the guy's basically saying that Marco doesn't deserve his shot because of how small he is, and I just want to know what your thoughts on all this was.
So I forgot the guy that made the comment.
He's very forgettable.
So here's the thing. I've met Marco. I've been to CCW shows before. Marco is the nicest dude in the world. And it couldn't have happened to a better person. I'm confused on what his size has to do with anything. I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but you know what? People still enjoy my matches, and I still try my hardest. And I like to say that I have some of the best matches every show that I put on. You go to any XWE show, my matches are generally the best matches. It's not a brag, it's just truth. Or PCW last week, the only match that had "This Is Awesome" chants was my match. So I'm just saying, you don't have to be the biggest guy, and Marco is proof of that. It's Gunnar Kelly, yes. So Marco is proof that you don't have to be the biggest guy. But you know what? So Gunnar Kelly, I guarantee you put in a match, Marco Stunt versus whoever, and then Gunnar Kelly versus whoever. Marco's going to outdraw that dude every day of the week. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. Marco's putting butts in the seats, and people are coming to watch Marco. So it doesn't matter about how big he is, or and the other thing too is it's not 1980 anymore. People aren't tuning in to watch guys that look like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man.
Kevin Owens looks like me.
Yeah,
bro, he's got the best angle going right now.
He
looks like me, except with like more hair.
Exactly.
But still, same thing.
You have like normal looking dudes that wrestle now, and that's perfectly fine. It doesn't make anybody less athletic just because somebody might have a different body frame or whatever it is. It doesn't make them any more athletic. That like you don't know what that person does or what their body type is. It doesn't matter. So for Gunnar, it was just I think it was a stupid comment on Gunnar's part. Personally, I think that Marco getting signed to AEW is awesome. I think if anything, it's actually even more of an inspiration now for guys that are smaller guys to be like, hey, look, because that for me when I first started,
Daniel Bryan effect, bro.
Exactly. So when I first started, like the reason I got into the business later than I wish I would have.
Because you like smelly men.
Yeah, exactly. Very much so. But I was always so intimidated, right? Because wrestling for the longest has always had this thing like you have to be this big. You have to have this body type. You have to look like this to wrestle. But then you started getting wrestlers like Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio,
Eddie,
and Daniel Bryan, Eddie Guerrero, and Chris Benoit, and now guys like Marco Stunt, the Young Bucks. These are all guys that are not big guys at all. And
Ricochet,
yeah. Finn Balor. These guys are all guys that are not big guys, and they're just absolutely killing it. So all these guys were inspirations for me when I saw these guys, and I was like, I'm not much smaller than these guys. Like, I can do this. So if Marco can be that for anybody else, that can be like, I'm not big, but they can look at Marco and see the things that Marco is doing, and he can be an inspiration for anybody else. Like, why is it that shouldn't matter? His size shouldn't matter. If he can be that for somebody, that's awesome.
Jonesy, can I jump in and play devil's advocate? Because I really want to see how far we can go into this rabbit hole, because I want to know what Kitt Reaver thinks. So So I think here's the counter argument to that. I want to see how you respond. So the realistic and believable element of pro wrestling dissipates to a certain extent because the guy that's 5'2", 115 pounds beats a guy that's 6'5", 275 pounds. Like, is there a certain element of you that says, yes, the little guy should beat the big guy, but not on a regular basis? Like, you're losing something when you allow the smaller guy to beat the bigger guy all the time. Yeah or nay? Because I think the big guys are underappreciated. I'm a huge NBA fan. Yeah. I miss Hakeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing and Shaquille O'Neal. And they're kind of like a relic now because everyone's shooting threes. Right. But which is fine because it's more entertaining. But there's an element that kind of gets lost there with the Bruiser Brodies, the Blades. Okay, so you got guys like Blade that maybe will sometimes be overlooked because they're not as flashy as everybody else, but they put on better matches. They do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's not 150 spots in every match, but they're still finding a way to capitalize on those moments where by the end of it, with Dangerous, they're getting the exact same reaction. So how do you kind of look at that from a different perspective? Because I know you wrestle everybody. Right. Big guys, small guys, the guys in between, everybody.
So here's the thing is who, no matter the size of a person, you can have a fight no matter what. Like, I wrestled the guy that I wrestled last week, that the only match I got this is awesome chance was with Blade. I wrestled Blade last week. The only match that got this is awesome chance. And what it came down to was just having a fight. I didn't give up. I never quit. And you can do that no matter what. Like, if you are willing to go out there and stand toe to toe. If I'm 5'8" and I go out there and I stand next to a guy that's 6'8", if you show that you are not going to back down and he hits you with everything that you have and you keep getting up, the crowd's going to get behind you and you're going to feed off that adrenaline. You're going to feed off that. And when you feed off that, your adrenaline gets going and you become unstoppable. This whole thing about believability and that, like, why would anybody lose to Marco, or why would a big guy lose to me? It's because it doesn't really matter about size. Like, just because the guy is 6'8", you know, like real fights I've actually been in my life that a guy is way bigger than me, but
the guy that has the lower center of gravity usually wins.
Well, it's
like in football.
It depends. There's so many different factors. Who knows? Like, maybe I know how to tap a guy out because I know jiu-jitsu or whatever the fuck I know how to do. So the whole the argument about believability, I think, is really stupid. Not stupid, but I think that it's kind of outdated. I think that anybody any size can put up a fight with anybody because you never know.
Yeah, well, you know what? All you got to do is turn on the Facebook, and you'll see little guys throwing hands with big guys, and it's a 50-50 proposition. Yep. Yeah, it depends on what your skill set is.
Exactly. You never know.
That is a great contention and response to me playing devil's advocate. That's fantastic. Well, speaking of playing devil's advocate, you know what, Jonesy? I want to go and knock out these two segments before we close out the show. We do the Shoot and Shout segment and the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. And since you're our featured guest tonight, we're actually going to do both with you. Yeah. So we're going to ask you to bring some of that adrenaline. All right. During the Shoot and Shout segment, you get to go off about anything, wrestling related or not.
Okay.
It's going to be a good time. We've had people complain about gas prices, the fact that potato chip bags are halfway full.
Okay.
And the fact that no matter what you do, you're always going to wait more than 2 hours at the DMV.
Yes.
But then we've also had people complain about wrestling stuff, internet trolls, people and fans that don't react to stuff at shows. It can be whatever. And we always have a lot of fun when we do it. We've had a lot of Hall of Famers and people that are well-known in professional wrestling join us for the segment, and they always bring the heat. So we want to make sure that Kitt Reaver is ready to bring the heat.
Always.
Let's go. Enter, Timmy. You know what to do, baby. Hit the music. Let's get into tonight's edition of the Shoot and Shout segment.
Do it.
Days when you don't want to mess up.
Everybody sucks. What do you want to justify?
By ripping someone's head off.
If you interact, life is off contract. Stay away,
motherfucker.
motherfucker.
It's one of those days. It's all about the he said, she said, bullshit. Jonesy, go ahead and lead us off tonight. Lead us off, baby. Bring the heat.
Do it.
Okay. I got a good one, Renee. I got a good one. I got one that is near and dear to your heart, sir. My shoot and shout is about a fast food restaurant by the name of Burger King.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Taco. There is no reason why Burger King should be selling a taco. Who is going to go to Burger King and buy a taco? You know why Burger King tacos are $1? Because they're garbage. They're trash. They're disgusting. Everybody I've ever seen and tried one has said they are absolute garbage. If you want a taco, go to a real taco.
Go to Taco Bell,
Taco
goddammit.
Taco Bell.
You said Taco Bell?
Taco Bell all day.
If you want to
I'm actually going to go Taco Bell tonight. After
tonight,
this.
baby, right
After this, I'm going to go get Taco
There's
Bell.
one down the street. Can we go and then you can drop me off back at home? Let's go. We'll go together. Go ahead, Josie. Sorry.
You know, damn well Taco Bell ain't no authentic Mexican food.
No, it ain't.
It's as authentic as I need it to be.
Yeah, that's right. Tonight it is.
Man.
Depending on how many beers you have, it can be as authentic as you want
Tonight
it to
it
be.
sounds great.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's funny. I don't know. The timing of that Mexican yell was impeccable. Impeccable. Good job, intern Timmy. Well done. Well done. Well, listen, I want to give you an opportunity to go next because trust me, you don't want to follow me tonight. I'm all sorts of pissed off.
Okay, so mine actually is a reflection of my day to day. On my lunch, I went to it's personal space, people. There is a bubble that every human being has. Especially if I don't know. If I know you, it's a bit different. Then it's kind of like you can invade my bubble a little bit. But if I don't know you and you get in my bubble, there's a problem. So I went to Wendy's for my lunch break today, and I got chili, and I love
their chili.
Their chili is fantastic.
Fire
with some hot.
They just always skimp on the crackers.
They didn't today.
Extra crackers.
Yeah, they didn't today. They gave me good crackers today. Fire. Chili was fire. My baked potato was fire. Food was great. Wendy's was great. You know what pissed me off though was when people got in my bubble. So I was sitting there and I was putting my chili seasoning in, and this lady got up right behind me, and she's like right next to me, just like right in my personal space. Like I can smell her breath. That's how close she was. And it just pisses me off so much. Like, know your boundaries. Like, know that, like, if I don't know you, there's no reason. Or, like, if I go to the bar, like, I'll probably go to the bar tonight. I'll go to the bar, and I'll have a couple drinks at the bar tonight. You know how many people will come up to me and, like, will grab my arm? Oh, that's a sweet tattoo. Oh, that's a sweet tattoo. And we'll look at it, and then just, like, they touch you. And, like, I didn't give you permission to touch me. Like, why are you grabbing me? Why are you touching me? Like, get out of my bubble. It's ridiculous. Your shoot and shout better be. So I have to tell this story because Drew is calling me out on this. So if I was a WWE.
By the way, this is the most validity anybody has ever given a Drew Chandler call out.
Oh, I will always give out Drew. Hype Man Pinky is.
But what about Ref Pinky?
Here, so Hype Man Pinky, I will give the devil his due again. He won't like.
Wait
that.
a minute.
He won't. He will
not like that
because of God and all that.
That's.
But give the devil. I'm expressing that on purpose. Drew.
Underline
highlighted in
yellow
point.
with
I'm
bold
giving
print.
the devil his due. Because Pinky is maybe the best ref in the Midwest. He's great, and I appreciate everything he does. But so you can see here, his comment is about LaRonda Reigns. So I came up with this whole. If I was a WWE writer, I came up with this whole thing this weekend, and it's about LaRonda Reigns. And I'm assuming This is how the conversation goes. This is how the conversation goes. Is so backstage, I'm assuming things are going really well backstage, and Vince is trying to come up with new ideas.
Good shit. It's good shit.
And he's like, guys, I gotta come up with some good shit.
Some good shit.
So the way he decides to come up with good shit is he's trying to spice up the women's division, right? And he's trying to figure out someone to face the man. Because who can really face the man at this point? She's so hype. She's so good.
She can take finishers from male wrestlers
better than most people can.
Better than most.
And so we're trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out if I'm Vince, I'm booking. How do I book Becky Lynch? That's easy. I book the big bitch. And you know who's facing the man? The big bitch. It's the Ronda Reigns. So Roman gets written out by an injury angle. He's out for a while. The Ronda Reigns. And it's the man, Becky Lynch versus LaRonda Reigns. Because it's good shit at WrestleMania. Yep. That's getting booked.
I can't. Why'd you have to ask him that? Damn you, Jonesy. He's still laughing.
Oh my goodness.
LaRonda Reigns.
LaRonda Reigns.
Well, this shooting shot went off the damn rails.
The big bitch.
All right. I suppose it's my turn.
It is your turn.
I told you that. And I told you I was very upset.
Okay, I'm ready to hear this.
I'm very upset. Explain to me why. I go and I holler at Pizza Hut.
Oh, shit.
Here we go. Listen to what I'm telling you.
Never had a good experience at Pizza Hut.
Never. Okay. And here's the crazy part. All I wanted was 48 buffalo medium wings.
It's not that big of a deal.
I don't think I was asking for too much. I've got a membership. They send me text messages and updates in my email and the whole nine.
Right.
I go to order 48 buffalo medium wings, and guess what? They can't give me one freaking pack of ranch for free.
That's
who and why is a man of my? Maybe it's because of where I was born. Maybe it was because I had to apply for citizenship and become a citizen that they charged me 60 cents a pack for ranch. God damn it, I'm a Costco member.
And that's a lot of ranch you're going to have to get for 48 wings.
That's a lot of wings.
That's a lot of wings. Like,
that's enough for 6 people.
It'd be cheaper for you to just go to like Walmart and get like ranch from like Walmart.
Bro, forget Walmart. I got a Costco membership.
Cheaper to go to Costco.
I can get 4 48 ounce bottles of ranch for $10.
Yep.
Bro, that's $4 on the ounce on ranch.
That's what you should do.
But these pieces of shit at Pizza Hut, the one and only king of pizza that wants to charge me 60 cents a pack for ranch. Bro, you know I got to get my calories in. There's only one way to keep up this figure. You need to put dressing on your dressing.
I'm a blue cheese man myself, but if somebody charged me for extra for blue cheese, I'd be very pissed.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I'd be mad.
I have the privilege of going to the Peanut where they have the very best wings in Kansas City. And guess what?
Yes.
They don't charge me for my ranch or my blue cheese.
No, they don't.
Damn you, Pizza Hut. Damn you and your shareholders on the real estate and stock market. Damn you, because you're screwing me for 60 cents for every single packet of ranch.
Don't sponsor me.
It's not fair.
Don't sponsor me.
Don't sponsor me. We don't want any parts of you.
Nope.
I'm sick and tired of it, bro. I'm going broke over here paying for freaking ranch.
If you call me and try to give me a sponsorship for your pizza or your wings, I'm going to say no.
Nope. Hard pass on that.
Nope.
Hard pass on
you know
that.
Who's going to get my sponsorship? Domino's.
Domino's all day.
Domino's
all day. God, this show drives me crazy. Every time.
Getting on Twitter right after this.
Damn you, Pizza Hut, and your 60-cent freaking ranch packets. It's insane.
Domino's, here we come.
Here we go, Domino's. And you know what? I wish there was more Little Caesars in town.
Yeah,
because I'd be that hot and ready. It's got my name written all over
CC's. I wish we had a CC's.
There's a CC's right up the street.
Okay, well there we go.
Well, that'll be the post show.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the CC's down the
CC's.
road. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, that was tonight's edition of the Shoot and Shout segment where we rant and rave and get pissed off over shit that really doesn't make any goddamn sense.
None.
Really, the only person that had a real shoot and shout tonight was Jonesy. Good job for you, Jonesy.
Good job. Though it wasn't as good as the Lorna Reigns.
Well, all right. Well, we're going to go from that right into tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge, where me, the Night Owl, challenges you, Kitt Reaver, in a little bit of a trivia challenge.
Okay.
So I want you to be ready because it's going to come. They're going to come hard and they're going to come heavy.
Okay.
All right, like the 28-8 championship that AEW is going to be coming up with. Isn't that the 25-8 championship or something like that, Jonesy? We were talking about a little bit earlier.
5-8.
25-8. It's going to be absolutely insane.
It's going to be different than 25 hours a day from Sunday until Saturday yesterday.
That makes sense. Honestly, that makes sense.
That's right. At this point, everything makes
That
sense.
makes sense. I don't even disagree.
Enter Timmy, hit the music as we kick in tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Boom. Boom, baby.
Roasted.
You know why I've been doing this shit for so long? It doesn't. You can watch this shit.
Yeah.
You remember this song?
Oh yeah.
$100,000
Oh yeah. Such a good show.
There's a victory song too if you win.
Oh yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. Our contestants are the Night Owl, Renee Martinez, and Kitt. In a few moments, I'll ask you 3 questions about a particular professional wrestling topic.
Okay.
Whenever you think you know the answer to the question, just shout out your answer.
Okay.
The first person to win 2 falls will win
2 out of 3.
tonight's
2 out of 3 falls.
challenge.
Is there a commercial break between the first pin and the second pin?
There's no commercial breaks.
Okay.
Other than this,
Okay.
on August 11th at Sports Bar, the Wrestle Talk
I
Podcast
saw that.
hosted
Saw
SummerSlam
that.
Watch Party.
I saw that.
We've had some badass people at these shows before.
I saw that.
The very best watch party in the Midwest. $5. 5 time. Or $5 in this case, right?
$5.
$5, like $5 foot long.
$5. Oh,
Best
wait,
watch
we can't
party.
do that.
We
can't
actually
do
got
that.
them to design a drink just for our event. So
Can't
they have
do
a drink called the RKO.
Okay.
Dude, it's absolutely fantastic. Everything in the bottle is $2.50. Unlimited gameplay all night for $10. And they've got Fortnite, Madden, WWE. They got the whole shit, dude. It's freaking fantastic.
10.
Other than that, Jonesy, you know what to do, baby.
Go.
Give us the first topic tonight because I'm ready to throw down.
Let's do it.
All right.
With the future XWE heavyweight champion?
Yes.
Maybe. Possibly.
Category is titled WrestleMania, the guest stars. I will give you back information on 3 individuals who have appeared at WrestleMania as guest stars. When you think you know the answer to the question, just shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's contest. So it's pretty simple. I'll give you a couple clues. Just shout out your answers. Whoever gets it right gets the point. The first person to get 2 points wins. Pretty simple. Are you gentlemen ready?
Yes.
You're going down, brother. Ready to rumble on down.
All right.
It's good shit. Good shit.
Here you
It's
go.
great shit.
Question number 1. This comedian who starred in 3 movies went from his playhouse on CBS in the late 1980s to an appearance at WrestleMania.
Pee Wee Herman.
Some people would say Pee Wee Herman is correct.
I was gonna say it too.
I'm an
I was gonna
80s
say
baby.
it.
Look, I got Gremlin in the house. Watch this. I got the Gremlin in the house and I got E.T. in the
I
house.
was gonna
Man.
say it too, and I didn't.
Pee
want to
Wee.
be
He
wrong.
said Fun House.
I know.
It was either Bray Wyatt or Pee Wee Herman.
I know. Threw me off. Threw me off.
Hey, listen, I'm just happy I'm not getting swept tonight. I got swept by some pretty. Paul
Yeah.
Orndorff swept me. ACH swept me. Punishment Martinez swept me. It's been pretty embarrassing.
This is going to be a very, very quick because you guys are going to get it almost immediately.
You ready?
Okay?
You fucking stuff.
This professional boxer.
Floyd Mayweather.
This professional boxer.
Floyd Mayweather.
Mike Tyson.
Floyd Mayweather is correct.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. All you can do now is avoid the sweep. That's all you can do. Let's go, baby. I'm going for the clean sweep of Kitt Reaver. Jonesy, where you at, buddy? Jonesy.
Microphone. At WrestleMania 25.
There it is.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
At WrestleMania 25, this singer performed a medley of his most famous songs, including All Summer Long,
Florida.
Cowboy, and Ball with the All Summer Long, Cowboy, and Ball with the Ball.
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock, damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. Oh, so close.
Kid Rock is correct.
Fuck, I love Ball with the Ball, too.
The deciding factor said, you know what, we're going to give it to Kit.
What the hell? This is some bullshit. This is like what you did with Malico.
You know.
Oh, they're giving you the win-win-win song? No. Why? ¿Por qué? Why? This is America. This is America. Shit's supposed to be fair in this country. I'm in America, damn it. It's not even fair. You know what? I need some Carl Lewis before we close out tonight, because in America, there's supposed to be justice. This is injustice right now. And if it wasn't because I'm scared about ICE coming through my house right now. He's hitting me with the baby auto tune. Well, that is some grade A bullshit right there. Ladies and gentlemen, XWE Gold Rush this Saturday night at the Ambassador Hotel in Salina, Kansas, baby. We're going to absolutely kill it. And this man right here is in the main event, man. Any parting thoughts, social media, propaganda that you want to throw out to the faithful out there?
Well, obviously, Leo D is watching here. Did you see this? Look at Leo D.
That's
watching.
my guy right there. It's a good guy.
Look how sacrilegious
No.
I am.
Look
Pull
it up to the cameras.
I know. Look how
Wait a minute,
sacrilegious I am right now. I know.
I wonder where he got that. I didn't have no part in that.
So you can follow me on all of the social medias.
You need to get better about Twitter.
I do need to get better about Twitter.
Yes.
If more people followed me, I'd probably get better about it.
No, you need to get better, and then
people follow. I know. I do have a Twitter. It's just Kitt Reaver. Instagram, Kitt Reaver. Facebook, Kitt Reaver. Everything literally is just Kitt Reaver.
Is that 2 T's?
Kit, yes. KITTREAVER. So follow me on everything.
I have a proposal.
I'm listening to your proposal.
Okay, you bring the bell.
Okay.
And people get to meet Kitt Reaver at the Wrestle Talk Podcast SummerSlam watch party. Unless you already got a hot date, because I know you got kind of like the James Dean thing going on.
I do. I am.
I'm not. Listen.
I am kind of James Dean right now.
Listen.
The motorcycle and everything.
I'm just saying, with the bike, you kind of, and your helmet even looks good.
I know. Everything
exactly.
Looks
So
good
what
right
I'm
now.
saying is, if you can,
come
on down.
I'll make it. But just to capitalize on Saturday Gold Rush, not just to toot my own match, because my match will obviously be amazing, but there are a lot of good matches on that card. There is Drake Gallows versus Blade, which is going to be ridiculous. You have Leo D versus Sabretooth, which is going to be
it doesn't matter.
Good.
No. Miranda Gordy will be in the house.
You have it's a tag match. It's Jamie O'Ryan and Miranda Gordy.
Jamie came back. Surprise comeback.
Yes, surprise
that
comeback.
Was sick.
Very happy about that. I will beat the crap out of him soon enough. But yeah, Miranda Gordy and Jamie O'Ryan in a tag versus Morgan and Niles.
Punk.
Yes.
That guy's despicable.
Not, yeah. Not.
Gives me the
he has
EBGBs.
good wine though. He does have some good wine.
Yeah, I hear a lot of whining coming out of that guy.
Yeah, well, he does wine a lot, but he also does have good wine.
He does have good wine.
I'll have to bring some cheese Saturday. Some wine and cheese will be good.
You guys are match made in heaven.
Yeah, exactly. You got
Hell.
Brene versus Stormy. And the match that I actually just found out about today, which is really cool, is Vale, the guy that gave me this beautiful scar right here.
Wait a minute. I hear we get fined if we don't say Prince Vale. Because if you do it again, we're gonna get fined. So please don't do that.
Find me, I dare you, because I will gladly take a match with you again. Prince Vale or Vale.
Please, yeah, I just don't want the
whatever
fines.
whatever you want to call yourself versus Chandler Hopkins. So that'd be good. But obviously the most important match is the main event. Myself, elaborate thing. So you're gonna want to be there in attendance. So be there or you suck and I don't care about you at all.
That's right. And we'll be on Twitch one more time.
Yes.
We'll be on Twitch. That's twitch.com/XWE_Salina. That's right. We'll be there. Your boy, that'll be the voice that you're going to hear. I'm going to bring a little bit of that Latino flavor to some absolutely incredible professional wrestling. And I'll tell you what, Jonesy, it's been an absolutely fantastic show. We've been rolling for a little bit over 2 hours now. And every element of the show has been fantastic, from the people from the FWWC to all the callers during the high spot segment, man. And at the end of the day, I can only thank one other person, okay? And that is the loyal Wrestle Talk family. And now, since you've been on the show, you're actually a member. So congratulations, my friend.
I like it.
Make some noise, baby.
I like it.
Jonesy, any parting thoughts for Kitt Reaver before we close out tonight's show?
Hey, Gordon Microphone, just thank you for coming on to the show tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Good luck on your match. I'm sure that after this weekend, you will be walking out with a little bit more gold.
Absolutely. New champ right here.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
You even got a wonderful from that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that next week, Barry Horowitz will be in the house right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. That is a lock. I'm very, very excited about that. Also wanted to remind you, glasses up, baby. Wrestle Talk. Yours is empty.
I drank all mine. I'm a fast drinker.
Oh, geez, Louise. We're going to have to fix that right after we end this broadcast. But listen, Wrestle Talk Podcast mugs available right now at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Tickets to XWE, just visit XWE on Facebook for more information on how to get yourself some VIP tickets or some fight passes or any of that cool shit that they're offering over there, man.
Yes.
It's absolutely on fire. Gold Rush is going to be crazy. But after that, we got Overbrook, Kansas. We're working for John over there.
Yep.
That's going to be dope as fuck. And then KCXW is coming back on the 17th with their biggest show of the year, Takeover 6.
Yep.
Your boy will be in the house, man. Midwest Wrestling is crazy. Jonesy, where are you going to be the next couple of weeks so we can close out tonight's show? Because we got the Midwest and the East Coast on lockdown, man. What are you doing? Look at Jonesy, a new microphone. Jonesy!
Jonesy, you alive?
Hello? Anybody there?
Jonesy.
What did you say? I'm sorry, you were breaking up. What did you say, Renee?
Pimp any local or independent shows that you're going to be working or going to. He's going to AEW, hopefully.
Oh, very nice.
So it's in Baltimore, so we know that.
Very good.
But any other shows you might be going to, man, so we can close out the show?
October 2nd, I'm hopefully going to AEW, but I believe either this Saturday or next Saturday is going to be ATCW at the Fire Hall, the Community Center in Summer Point, West Virginia. It's going to be absolutely awesome. We're going to see Anthony Adams is going to be there.
Big deal.
Deuce Donatelli's going to be there. Chucky Manson's going to be there. I'm going to be there refereeing. It's going to be a heck of a time if you
Match
are in the area. Come out, check out this show. You will not regret it.
Yeah, you will not regret it. And I want to say something before we close out tonight's show. Dude, thank you for coming over, for being punctual, for being a professional, despite the fact that you live kind of that on the edge, you know what I'm saying? Just based on the fact that you ride a motorcycle and shit like that. You're a professional. You show up on time. You're prepared. You know what we're here for. and you're a testament to your trainers and the people that help put you into the business more than anything else to yourself, man, because people want to hear from people like you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, so last thing I want to close with is, because I didn't have a traditional upbringing in the wrestling business. If anything, I want to give a big shout out to Billy Simmons. That is the first person that I had a vision of what I knew I could be, and I knew that I could do what I wanted to do as far as like be who I wanted to be in the ring and out of the ring on the mic and everything. And Billy Simmons is the first person that gave me that chance and let me roll with the vision that was in my head. And it paid off. I knew it would, but I had to have somebody that would like have that for me and have my back and see the same thing that I was seeing in my brain because I knew I could be so much more than I was at other places. So Billy Simmons, if you are not a wrestler and you're thinking about wrestling or anything, I can't stress to hit up Billy Simmons. Dude is amazing.
Well, you know what? I can only echo those sentiments on probably a little bit of a smaller scale. I'm getting an opportunity now to be the full-time XWE lead commentator, and I hope to be able to work with you on many, many occasions. All I want to do, and Jonesy, you know me, bro. You know every step of my journey up to this point. I just want to contribute, man. I want to make wrestling better.
Yep.
And I hate the fact that I can look up on my bookshelf, which you guys can't see, but there's books about Memphis wrestling. There's books about the territories and some of the stuff down in Florida, Brewglass Brawlers, which is all about Knoxville and shit like that. But there's nothing about Kansas City.
Nope.
Like WTF, dude.
Yeah.
Like what you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We are going to play a part in making sure that somebody can write that book.
Yes.
And we're going to continue doing that every single week right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. God damn it. Episode 257 is about to be in the books. We're going to probably hang out for a little while and have a conversation. We might even record that and put that low key on the YouTube feed for y'all who want to hear us continue to have this conversation. But as far as tonight's show goes, Jonesy, we're all the way done. It's over. Finito, El fin, buenas noches. So make sure you guys go over to WrestleTalkPodcast.com and peep out these incredible mugs, which are guaranteed to make your beer taste 17.5% better. 0.5. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Jonesy, say goodnight because this episode is over, and we'll be back next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time here at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Game over, Chico. Game over. Game over.
I don't have one, so
let's do it. You have no idea.
Beer does that, dude.
Yeah. Well, this stuff usually doesn't.
Yeah, IPAs are lighter. Yeah, so it's not.
Well, no, this is heavier.
Is it heavier?
It's 77.2%.
Is it really?
That's what I was pointing out to you when you were sitting.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I mean it's good. It's smooth. It's really smooth. That's a high percent for an IPA. Usually, the only
that's what I was pointing out to you.
Oh shit! Yeah, usually stouts are the only ones that have that high of a percentage.
Yeah, no.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, like stouts. Which, like,
you ever had any chocolate stouts?
I have.
Yeah.
So, like, stouts for me are hit and miss. Like, there are some stouts that I absolutely.
You ever had that dragon's blood?
really
That's the
good?
one that I like. So you eat that with a piece of dark chocolate?
Yeah, that's usually what you're supposed to do with stouts. The best stout I've ever had is Boulevard's. Have you ever had Boulevard's stout?
Yes, I have.
They're the one they release like around like October.
I had it poured out of one of their deals during the tour. They're like, so what do you want to try? And they had it all on tap, every one of them.
I think they name it after a cat. It's something. It's like some kind of cat or something.
You smoke cigs?
No, but I'll go outside with you.
Yeah, we'll step outside. We'll do that. Everybody who's still watching, Kitt Reaver and myself, man, we're gonna keep partying, hanging out, having a conversation. We're gonna step outside. But listen, this is what the Wrestle Talk podcast is all about. By the end of this week, believe it or not, we'll have somewhere between 1,500 and 2,500 views. 40 countries, Midwest and beyond. The fact that Joe's out on the East Coast helps us tremendously. And we're gonna keep doing this thing, man. Next week, Barry Horowitz is up in this mug, bro. That's right. So that's who you're opening up for. Not a bad fucking night. You know what I'm saying?
It's like being in a comedy club and opening up for
Dave
like Dave Chappelle or something like that.
Dane
like,
Cook, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, or anybody. Anybody.
But you're not opening up for anybody on Saturday.
No, I am the main event.
Gold Rush, that's right. XWE. Shout out to Billy. Shout out to Curtis. Shout out to all the guys that make it happen behind the scenes. It's really incredible, and I hear the catering is dope too. So if you ain't working XWE, you're tripping. That's right, beans for days, baby.
Pickles.
I got a booty on slush box up there, right?
I saw that.
See my shit up there. That's ready.
Billy, when you watch this, I need more pickles catered.
Last question. Favorite football team?
Such a tough question because,
are you a sports fan?
I am a sports fan.
Okay.
I'm a huge sports fan.
All right.
Are we going with who do I think is going to win this year, or
no,
my actual
your
team?
favorite team?
It's the Broncos.
Goodbye. Yeah. That's it. We're done. We're not having no beers after this. It's over. And that is